Hey everybody, I only have headphones on so I can make sure the microphone is working and I'm at a comfortable space from the camera. I look fine. And I'm Beej. You are watching Loading Ready Run's Hyper Entertainment Network, and this is a bonus stream. We're doing Beej's Anime Roundup today. Good to see everybody here. I mean, I can see some of you in chat. You were already talking. You're saying lots of things, just going by. So many things to be said. And all the things that you say are brought to you by you because you're the one saying them, but you're the one paying them. Patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. You can also back us on Twitch with your subs and your bits. We appreciate that too. You can become a member of our YouTube channels, of which there are many. Go to youtube.com/loadingreadyrun and you can click the channels button and see all the different channels that we have. And you should also go to the store.loadingreadyrun.com. There are things up there. We have shirts, and the Vault shirts are still kicking along. Those don't go away until the middle of September. So if you're interested in getting a shirt that might disappear someday, well, you know exactly when it's going to disappear. Not might disappear. You know exactly when it's going to. Those are the Vault shirts, but there are also some other shirts. The Pride shirt and the Trans Pride shirt still rocking evergreen. Those are going to be available all the time, unless something drastic changes and we have to like take them down temporarily while we figure things out. But there you are. All right, and as Julian points out, there's secret shirts because I like to have fun, and so I thought I'd have fun by putting something secret on the website. And you go look at the store, you can find the secret thing probably yourself. That was up for a while. And it wasn't until a few days ago somebody actually posted it on Lure Content on the Discord, discord.gg/LRR. And we're like, hey, does Beej know about this? It's like, Beej does know about this. Beej was the one who put it up after all. And yeah, it was meant to be available. And but I wanted it to be the kind of thing that you guys would just kind of stumble across and be like, yo, check this out. And hoping I can do more of that stuff as the time goes on. We did ask DFTBA if there are other ways in which we can represent secret things on the store if we wanted to, and they gave us a couple of ideas. So yeah, no need to tear it asunder. I'm not going to be listing like a whole bunch of stuff all the time, and like every week there's a new secret thing or something like that. This isn't like, this is like going to Winners and like, oh, there's always new things in the store. There isn't, but anyway. Let's start with that's enough effing about, I think. God, my hair is just like completely up in the air. That's fine. We can live with this. Let's start by going to the show. It is the list of shows. We are doing this off of AniChart.net, and we are doing a roundup for 2026 spring. And a quick note for everybody who wonders. I like it when my hair is actually a cliff, like when it was a wall or a cliff or some sort of like impenetrable object. I do like it when it does that. But yeah, quick note to anybody who is here watching the Anime Roundup. I am going to talk about the stuff that I watched, or even the things that Heather and I watched together. I'm going to give my opinions of it. That doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean that you're wrong. There's a song that I remember has that line where the guy's like, doesn't mean one of us is wrong. I'm going to not be able to remember that now. Damn it. Anyway, listen to it like 20 years ago. Anyway, how this works is that I give my opinions. Feel free to be like, he's so full of shit. Or be like, yes, I felt the same way. Whatever. I don't mind. But one thing we can agree on here is that we're all allowed to like the things that we like, and we're all allowed to dislike the things that we dislike, and we're not trying to rake anybody over the coals for any of that. I'm going to do my best to also not do that to people in chat. I might goof on you a little bit if I feel like it, and that's maybe not the greatest instinct in the world, but, once you get in about 3 hours into this thing, eventually it turns into, my brain starts to melt, and I start to not behave as well. So if you like smut, like it. I like smut too. Smut is excellent. It is fine, but it is for you to enjoy, and it's not for you to plaster out everywhere and to kind of get all over everybody else. It's not, you don't have to like layer your smut all over other people and be like, look, you have to enjoy it now too. That's, You know, we enjoy our smut for ourselves, and we feel that it is okay to enjoy smut, and that is completely fine. Um, you know, and I want to advocate for that kind of thing as well. I want to also advocate for people that it's like, you know, you can enjoy smut and I can enjoy smut, and it's okay for everybody to enjoy that too. It is not okay to shame someone for the smut that they enjoy, I don't think. Um, but let's not try to hurt other people while we're in the process. I am drinking today fridge tea. I bought a bunch of black tea bags. Black tea bags. Black tea bags. Bought a bunch of black tea in bags from Save On Foods. They have it was their overweight tea branded tea, and the Moonbase now has 168 less now tea bags for me to make fridge tea out of, which is just fine. It is completely acceptable tea. Right, let's start with, in fact, something that Heather and I finished last night. And big ups to Heather, by the way. We watched about a third of the things that I said I was going to watch last time. We've managed to watch together. She's like, I'm not watching this, I'm not watching this, I'm not watching this. And so there's a bunch of stuff that I have at home that I haven't finished because it's easier to watch things when I'm able to watch them with Heather these days. I tend to like them more because I know we're both enjoying them and we're both kind of enjoying them in the same way. And I try not to stomp all over anything that's, you know, a problem. But we also try to take the temperature of what each other's enjoying a little bit more, a little bit faster. And yeah, she will basically be like, I will watch another episode of this, and then if it's not getting any better, I'm going to stop. And I'm like, that's fair. And then I might decide to continue on. We're going to go over those things as we hit them. But one of the first ones, well, the first one on this list is Aishiteru game o Owara Setai. Oh, Owara Setai. That's not the right inflection for that. I don't feel. Owara Setai. Aishiteru game o Owara Setai. Or I want to end this love game. Sounds pretty good. The synopsis as given, it yeah, this is fine. We felt it got better. We also felt that it did not. We just finished watching it last night. We burned the last 3 episodes like in a big go. It's just like, let's get this all finished. I think we're actually the last 2, 11 and 12, we watched back to back. So you managed to get to one of the characters gets sick and the other one has to look after them kind of thing. While I feel like there has been some growth and while I feel like there has been some stuff that had gone on with these 2 characters, they obviously decided to end the series in a way that was like, and then we will run on towards the future with nothing fucking solved. And it's like, yeah, that must mean that the manga goes on for a while more, or they just decided that maybe they got canceled. I don't know. Or maybe they decided it's like, I don't want to write this anymore either. It's like, whatever. I don't really care. What I get from it is that it really feels, because this comes from a manga, it's like surely they're building up to something a lot greater. I'm like, I don't know what could be left. I really feel like they kind of crossed the Rubicon, and the fact that they're kind of like grinding out more of it, I'm like, boy, I hope it gets more interesting, because the first few episodes we were just like, this feels like it's an interesting idea. I don't think the anime's managed to communicate it properly, and I kind of felt like we should have started a little later in the season and then, I don't know, maybe go back or maybe find out. I don't know. Just kind of landed a little like, 6 out of 10 kind of thing. Didn't really excite me too much. Akane Banashi, we didn't watch. I wasn't really interested in watching another highly competitive, regardless of whether I like Rakugo or not. It was just like, didn't want to get into that, so like I didn't watch it. Aojima Hyake. Yeah. Heather dropped that after the first episode. I'm about 4 or 5 episodes into it still. I think the reason why this hasn't pulled me through it has been because it's nothing but character sketches. And it does definitely communicate the idea that this thing that you have decided is the most important fucking thing in the world to you, going to this school, and that everything revolves around everybody going to the school, and everybody in the goddamn universe apparently loves this thing. Well, of course that's not the case, right? It's just that people who like the productions, and the girls who want to go to the school and be a part of being in these productions, and everybody has this on their head as like, this is the most important thing in the world to me, and therefore it is the most important thing in the world to everybody, and it really isn't. And you get a little taste of that through some of the parents being like, you want to go to there, like, okay, well, apparently they're renowned, like that kind of thing. Um, and you have parents who are like not really into the whole scene until they start watching a bit of it and be like, oh, okay, I understand this better. I understand why my kids want to go to this thing. There's no plot in that. There's no, I shouldn't say plot. There's no plot line. Like, that doesn't really reveal itself as like, for the bits that I've watched, right? I should say, but it's like there's no like one episode's going to lead demonstrably to like something in the next episode, and then something in the next episode. Characters are going to link things together. You have to be able to remember who the characters are, and it also isn't clear that each episode is linked to the next. There's a couple that are linked from one to one to one kind of thing. And again, this is kind of like I think it's interesting in a sense of like a series of character sketches and a series of like the interactions of people, and like maybe even the things that go on in musical theater in Japan. But I didn't, it didn't pop for me in a way that I was kind of hoping that it would. I guess maybe I don't know what more I expected from it, and maybe I'm being too good God, maybe I'm being too judgy of it. I don't know. It's not bad in any shape, way, or form, I don't think, but yeah, just hasn't excited me too much. Ah, クラスで2番目に可愛い女の子と友達になった, or I made friends with the second prettiest girl in my class. Odd title, light novel, makes sense. I'm reading the manga. I like the character designs of the manga better than I like the character designs of the anime. I don't know. There's something softer about Umi in the manga. There's something like that's a little bit. There's something about her in the manga that makes her feel like a very, very approachable person, uh, and and it you can tell she's pretty in a way that isn't like your classic. Like, this to me is like, we've got the blush on the face, she's got a little bit of like lipstick on, because of how they're decorating the lips and how they're decorating everything else like that. There's eyeshadow and everything else going on in there, and I'm like, there's something about how they want to depict her in the manga that doesn't rely upon, we have to draw out features with. I'm not saying makeup's a bad thing, right? Makeup's a thing that a lot of people like to use, right? But there's something about the way they want to design her here to give her makeup features that I'm kind of like, I don't feel like that's her in the story, right? It's, or in the manga. It's very odd. Lamina says the soft pretty seems hard to have an anime, and I think that's the kind of thing. Yeah, this is like, we need to make sure that she shows up as hard pretty as opposed to soft pretty, and it's odd. I don't get it. Also, in the manga, the two of them seem like they could be siblings more, like from the way that they're drawn and everything. They really have kind of a similar aesthetic, and it's just like, there's something about like, I don't know, her aura that I really like about the manga version. This was fun. This was quite fun. It was interesting. It has some turns where you're like, why are they making decisions to act this way? And you can kind of, there's a feeling that's like, maybe in the light novel it's handled more adeptly. In the manga, I kind of felt like there was, the way that it's depicted, because it's stop motion, right? It's panel by panel, that you can ascribe a little more serious things to what's going on. The anime has to deal with the pacing, and maybe that kind of trips a little bit, but I liked it, and I would watch more of it because the manga is still going, and I would love to see how it kind of like continues to play out to the end. And it was nice watching these two come together, like, because this is a romance, and it literally says right there, and it's like the two of them do end up dating by the end of the anime, if that's the thing that's holding you back from watching it, but it's there's so much more that goes on after the fact, even if a lot of that is like, now we all have to be able to pass our exams. It's very lighthearted. Yeah, I I liked it. Good stuff. We can move on. Everyone is saying who is judging who the second prettiest person in the class is. That is performed by the boys in the class who have decided, it's like, yeah, you know, so and so's hot, but I'd rather ask so and so out. It just turns out that Umi is friends with the prettiest girl in the class as well. They've been friends for a long time. That's another thing about this too, is that there's a lot of friendship and self-esteem and the kind of things that, you know, you go through in your teenage years that you might need to still go through to this day. Those things pop up here. Maki's also like, he's a year out from his parents have divorced, so he's only a year into that and is still dealing with a lot of the fallout and trauma from that because he's trying to be a good kid about it. Umi's dealing with the fact that she's kind of, because she's been friends with the prettiest girl in class forever and ever, that there is a sense of, are people friends with me because all they want is her attention? The and fuck, what's her name again? You. Anyway, doesn't matter. Again, I liked it. It was good stuff. Diamond no Ace Act 2 second season, didn't watch it. Moving on. Dr. Stone Science Future Part 3, gave up on that a long time ago. Ghost Concert Missing Songs, didn't watch that. Let's move on. Haibara-kun no Tsuyokute Seishun New Game. No, I didn't watch that either. Hidari Kiki no Eren. Fuck. You know, they call it Eren the Southpaw, and it's really about Koichi, the guy who's struggling his ass off, and it's not really fun to watch. Drama? Yeah, absolutely drama. You want to watch somebody get just straight up mentally abused by their work? Yes, watch this. Please do. There's a reason why he's in the center here, is because it's like, he's in the most episodes. The artist, Erin, that's her here. I think she's interesting. I would watch more about what she's doing. The model, she's kind of interesting too, but she gets, I think, just enough play and it's all right. Sayuri, I think she's interesting. She's interesting because I want to see more of what she's doing with her life. This guy at the center, the whole purpose of this is this guy wants to be the coolest fucking dude in design ever. An art director, he wants to change people's worlds and change their perspective and see whatever and do whatever. And he's basically just like, they're like, oh, he can't do it. And I'm like, I don't think that's true at all. I think that the way that you've set up, things for people to do, because it's always like, oh, his work is uninspired, it's not interesting, it's whatever. I'm like, yeah, what he is trying to do is he's trying to do it the way that you're supposed to do it. Go get your degree and try to pass all those classes, and then go to a big company so you have a chance to fight over big contracts, so you can do something very creative, and then your path explodes and you move on. And it's like, you don't have to do it that way. There are a lot of different ways to find a fulfilling part of your life. This just is largely built, the show is largely built around how far can we grind this guy down until he becomes a complete shadow of himself. And I don't know, I think Heather and I are going to watch the last 2 episodes or 3 episodes, just to kind of see like what's going to happen to him and how's everything's going to come out, and then leave it, right? And I'm hoping that means that then it's over. And I'm thinking that this is an appealing manga because it is just supposed to be dramatic and shitty, and you're supposed to be like, my life also sucks as hard as this guy's does, and therefore I feel the same way about stuff. I don't know what the appeal is, because putting him at the center of this, I have not enjoyed watching this show when he's been the center of the episodes. Full stop. So we'll move on. Higeki no Genkyo to Naru Saikyo Gedo Last Boss Jo wa Tami no Tame ni Tsukushimasu Season 2. Didn't watch the first one. Himekishi wa Babaroi no Yome. It's very... We watched all this. I really enjoyed it. I don't think it earns its ecchi tag. I mean, the outfits definitely like. I wish I could zoom in. Maybe I can zoom in with this visual search. No, no, that's fine. Um, Other than the fact that our girl here, Serafina, is wearing this crazy outfit with this boob window, there is a visit to the hot springs. There isn't a lot of like, I mean, yes, travelogue, you're right. There was that one moment in the hot spring. It's like there's that too. Everything is very much covered up and arms are in the right places and all that kind of stuff. Um, I think I would watch more of this. If there was more of this, I would end up watching more of it. I think it's really interesting. Um, it comes from a manga. I don't know if I'll go read the manga or not, but I have kind of enjoyed watching this like thing of she warms up to living in this other world, not other world, but living in this like other kingdom, not really even a kingdom, but it's the lands of the barbarians, and she realizes, oh wait, actually everything that they're doing here in the lands of the barbarians is pretty is pretty like cool. We're the bad guys. We're trying to invade them and take over their stuff because we need land to grow food on, but we're the bad guys. And it is a little weird. I would only say that it's weird because there's constant revelations one after the other of like, and then this is an unusual thing that gives you a reason to feel like, boy, I should definitely live here. And then that's not enough of a reason. Well, let's add this onto this. Well, let's add this onto this, and let's reveal something from your past that actually has to do with living here as well. Like it kind of just keeps building and building over top of. There's all these reasons why you want to stay here, and you're just telling yourself no, but you need to stay here. And so yeah, it's quite the thing. And I liked it. It was it's not, there's a little bit of action in it. There is a little bit of tentacle in one, and we're like, why do that? There was no point in doing that. But yeah. Hello. Oh, she's not here. Anyway, I liked it a lot. We will move on from here. Oh, Hokuto no Ken, Fist of the North Star. I did not watch that. Honzuki no Gekokujo Ryoshu no Yojo. Oh, we have a 13th episode coming out still. Well, that's whatever. We have been watching Ascendance of a Bookworm for a while. I've been reading all the different. I'm on book 4 or part 4, whatever you die for. I've been watching like this, but also reading it, but I've been trying not to read ahead. But then it's like, well, it's taking forever for like Bookworm, like part 1 to finish in the manga. So then it was like, I'm going to start reading part 2. And then you find out, well, there's a part 3 and then there's a part 4. And you're like, okay. And then once I got through part 2 of the anime, then it's like, I'll start reading part 3 now because I guess I'm caught up. And, oh, but now part 3 is taking forever to come out. So I'll start reading part 4. And you're just kind of like lining things, not knowing who most of these characters are, and yet still pretty followable. Like trying, even though everything's kind of getting inserted into weird places in my mind, it's like I can still understand what's happening in terms of stuff. And whenever they reference something that's happened previously, I'm like, I don't know what happened there, but now I know what the fallout of it is. And largely, I'm not reading it for. I'm not reading it for the plot points. It feels like I feel like what I'm reading it for is I'm reading it for the climax. I'm reading it for the culminations. It's like, and then the thing happened, and you already told me what the thing happened, and I've seen the results of that. Now let me skip forward another 30 chapters. Oh, let me hear about that, the culmination of that when you played treasure hunting dinner, treasure stealing dinner, or whatever. And it's like, cool. Like I don't fucking care about a lot of the stuff in the middle. It seems a lot of the time I care more about, is she gonna eventually turn into like a fully grown adult and actually be a librarian like she wants to do here? Is that what we're gonna have happen? Probably not. Doesn't matter. It's been fun. I'm gonna keep watching it. We'll move on. Ichijoma Mankitsu Gurashi. Said I was gonna watch it. We started watching it. I completely forgot I was watching this. I stopped. Just kind of hit a point where it wasn't even like the constant panty shots or anything like that did it. It was just like, I don't really, there wasn't enough off the bat that registered for me that these girls were actually going to a school at all. It just kind of was like, you're living in this manga cafe because that's what's available, that's the dorm. Somebody said this was the dorm, and then you get there and you find actually it's a manga cafe, and also you have to work here, because that's the hobby of the rich girl who owns the manga cafe. And then now go forward to going to school, and I'm like, I would have enjoyed it more if you'd have told me a little, like, showed me a little bit more of them going to school all the time, but they never seem to go to school. and and I'm like, even in high school anime where we don't get to see classes and stuff happening, they're still at the school and they're still getting together to do stuff. And I'm like, she has nobody that she knows outside of these girls, apparently, because we never see her do anything with regards to school. And I'm like, it would be better if you were just dropped out of school at this point. But yeah, I just kind of, as Doodles puts it, did not enjoy the fan service and the characters, so I dropped it. And I was just like, yeah, straight up, kind of the same thing. The fan service wasn't fun, and the characters were all pretty one note in a way that I didn't sit with me. I was like, whatever, I think I can drop this safely. That's fine. Isekai Nonbiri no Ka 2. I did watch the first season. I, of course, watched the second season. They have introduced more men. Don't worry. They don't show up, but they are there. More men keep showing up, but don't worry. It's just going to be him and 3,000 women that all got lost in the forest and lost their homes. I love this for, like, as far as Isekai series goes. I don't know why this is the one that does it to me, because I also see like so many holes in what they've decided in, like, how he's building their environment and shit like that. And I'm like, oh, there's so many dumb things that decisions you're making that seem extremely dumb, for what the level of your technology is that you should be able to accomplish, but you're not doing them. But it's fun and it's silly, and that's fine. And yes, thank you, Texan. It is silly and yeah, and it's great. I just enjoyed it. I've enjoyed reading the translated manga so far, which is very funny, because this got ahead of the scanlated manga by about a chapter or so, and kind of stayed ahead just a little bit. And so now it will stop showing, and then they will start translating more stuff, I'm sure, in the manga, and I'll be able to, like, get a little bit ahead until they decide they want to do 3. I don't know what's going to go on there. I just had fun. Jido Hanbaiki ni umaore kawatta ore wa meikyu o samayo, third season. I did watch all of this. I watched the last 3. Finally forced myself to watch the last 3 episodes last night. I have to admit that in the final battle, I was sitting there just kind of with a stupid grin, because I was like, yeah, this is exactly how you would write this battle. This is exactly how you would do this dumb shit. You have to really, really accept that the story is JoJo without any of the go 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 go, right? Like, it's literally, how OP can I make the main character? And the thing is sometimes I appreciate the contortions that they go through to come up with a vending machine that does whatever. And sometimes I don't. But what got me in the last 3 episodes of this, watching the 100-meter square field have a kaiju battle with a giant monster, was fun. Sitting through the field, introducing me to the 20 characters that's part of his isekai story, was fucking stupid. I didn't care. It was not worth it. I was just like, you are burning through time because you think this is funny, and this is just dumb. I don't appreciate that this is, and that's the thing. That's just how I feel. I was like, I can't. I could understand if you showed me a bunch of characters and you were like, oh, you're all interacting with all of them, like, we should know who they are. That's one thing. To actually have an introductory sequence for each character, like having them stand there in like a manga pose and whatever, and just being like, this character is like this and they're like this and here's their personality. When like, I don't fucking care, dude, because it's not going to matter to the show. So you going through all this exercise is like, that's a side story for the manga as far as I'm concerned. That's like, you could do a side story about that and that would be very fun, but I don't feel like that belonged in the episode at all. You were just burning time. That's all that felt like to me. And then it did that thing that I realized that I hate in so much anime, and it makes it doubly worse to the point where I don't find it funny. I find it incredibly tedious. This is really specific nitpicking, by the way. Every character has to say something so that we justify having every character in the scene. So if a decision is to be made, then everybody has to have a line of dialogue that supports the overall feeling of the group. It is very shonen anime. It is just kind of like I just went, and it's not, if it'd be one thing if it was like we were hearing from characters we'd never seen before, that would be really funny, because it'd be like, oh, right, everybody has to have something to say. So now all of a sudden people who don't matter to the scene. And this show, this manga has like 100 named characters in it. And I'm just like, it would be funny if characters we hadn't heard of in forever just all of a sudden popped their head up and they had something to say and you didn't remember who they were. And they had to point out who they were to the audience, like kind of lampshading that trope. Then I would consider that they're lampshading a trope. This just felt like, well, we have to do this at this point. And I'm like, again, feels like you're just burning time to get over the finish line. And that really let me down, because I was just like, I'm running into, in these last few episodes, I'm running into so many things that I dislike about these kind of things. The final battle, I will say again, I had a big dumb grin on my face because it was like, this is so fucking stupid. But it also suffers from that thing of, ultimately the final battle has to be between the main character and the main villain, that you have a whole party of people, they all have to be taken out for some reason. That's fucking Sailor Moon, right? Like that was like, we have to get Mercury and Mars, everybody else has to be like completely disrupted from what they're doing so that Sailor Moon can free them from their bondage. And then they can all get together. At least in Sailor Moon, the five of them all put their hand on the thing, and they all banish Queen Beryl at the end of Sailor Moon together. Like, they all did that as a thing, as a group. And I'm like, I appreciate that more, because it is everyone working together at that point. And that's supposed to be like the power of hard work, friendship, and victory, right? And this is just victory. Like, this is just all this was about, is just achieving victory. And again, dumb, fun show. But yeah, the third season was like a hard slog for me, because I just kind of felt like all we are doing is checking boxes. And you had to like the premise enough, I think, to enjoy the fact that it was checking those boxes. The one thing that I did appreciate is they managed to do an interesting turn about episode 3 and episode 4, and at episode 3 is where I'm like, I'm not watching any more of this. This is just gonna be the same dumb shit over and over. And then by episode 3, episode 4, I realized, oh, okay, we're gonna speed run past this whole thing of we've taken this kid hostage, but turns out the kid is he's in on the whole thing, but he's in on the whole thing because he's trying to save his parents, but also the woman who kidnapped him is actually just totally in love with the kid. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is all complicated in a way that's different, I hadn't seen before. And then that kind of gave me the strength to kind of like speed me through the rest of the series overall. But yeah, anyway, move on. Kami no Niwatsuki Kusunoki Te. I mean, I put this in checkpoint. This is Kusunoki's Garden of Gods. This is very cute. It is, again, kind of, this is the kind of thing where it's like, well, I've introduced a fun new character, a fun new fluffy animal for you to enjoy looking at. And then the next episode happens. You're like, well, now what are we going to do? It's like, well, we're going to introduce more fun, fluffy animals for you to look at. Okay, that's cool. What are we going to do in the next episode? Don't worry. We're going to introduce yet another fun, fluffy Pokemon for you to enjoy. Oh, what are we going to do after that? Well, we're going to have another fun, fluffy mascot character for you to enjoy looking at. And I'm just like, I get the idea. And I like this a lot because it's super gentle. It just is like. Then we realized, oh, we have to give Kusunoki something to do. Well, let's give him, as they put it here, overwhelming spiritual power, and then let's have him interact with people who want to do nasty by him. Um, and yeah, it's like, and then let's kind of keep imbuing him with more fun god gifts and shit like that. And I'm like, this is the creation of a very OP character. You're just watching it happen over it. Like, he's already very overpowered, and we're just going to keep making him more and more and more overpowered. But again, it's very fluffy and cute and fun. And I would watch another season of this. They even kind of felt like they were setting it up to be like, and here's a new character at the very end that you didn't get to see, but aren't they fun? And it's like, yes, give me more about these characters who have come into this like little garden to settle and do things. And I like these little adventures they go on. I like the fact that Yamagami, mountain god, is just what we call him, right? Yamagami's the name of this wolf. I like the fact that he goes to town and he walks into a publishing company because he remembers that the people who were there, he once helped somebody who runs the publishing company and bestowed a blessing upon them, and that's why the publishing company exists. But the weird thing to me is the one thing Heather and I could not do is place how big is this town supposed to be? Because it's rural, and yet it's like he walks into the publishing company office, which doesn't seem like a very big building. They have elevators, and I'm like, is it a 3-story building? Is it more? Is it a 5-story building? And they have elevators they put in? And I mean, like, for the most part, a lot of the places he walks by all the time are like confectionery shops that all look like classical Japan, like the very like streets of ancient Kyoto looking kind of place. And I'm like, this is a very old town, but walking around through there, it's like, well, there's lots of housing, lots of everything else. I'm just trying to make sense of what exactly is this place? Is this an old rural town that has like old shopping streets and shit in it, but then also has like new construction in it? This doesn't. I'm trying to put it in place of, we went to some different places when we've been in Japan several times, and the look of the place does a lot to kind of inform you as to the kind of like when it was constructed, what people have done with it. Because when you own land in Japan, it's like, I can just knock down my house and just put up a brand new house, right? If I own if I own a stake of land here, I can just knock this whole building down and build up a new building. They don't care that much about the idea of this building has to last like 1,000 years in that same way. When it's like a thing from 1,000 years ago, it's certainly like we care about that, but it's like, oh, you have a heritage house that's 200 years old. Why? Why do you have a heritage house that's 200? Why haven't the people who lived here decided they just wanted to refresh it? Because you could do that. You can just, the decisions apparently of, do I want to renovate or do I want to rebuild? That comes up all the time, apparently. And it means you get a weird mix of houses and buildings that are all from different eras of construction, because they're all being broken down and rebuilt at different times for different reasons. And I guess if you live in an earthquake zone too, you are more prone to, my house might just completely fall down and maybe I don't repair it. Maybe I actually do have to rebuild it. But trying to figure out where this was taking place, to be like, what is this, like on the outskirts of Tokyo? Is this near Kyoto? Is this like it, and how rural is this area? Because that you start to see like a lot of housing and you're like, oh, the housing is very like, feels very dense, but also the houses look like they're older, but it's all very densely settled, but it's all it's all older houses with like dirt streets, and you're like, it's all dirt streets? Why is it all dirt streets? Maybe it's not dirt streets. And yeah, just there's no cars anywhere. Nobody's driving a car around. There's not even like little trucks being driven from place to place. I'm like, oh, very walkable neighborhood. But I'm like, but still there have to be like roads and stuff. And that was the most maddening part of the show. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. Let's move on. Kami no Shizuku dropped it. Watched the first 3 episodes and then was just like, you know what? I actually don't give a shit about this. I forgot that I don't like this guy. He's a pain in the ass. I don't really like the idea of the showdown. I don't really like the idea of what's being what's going on here. In the manga, you move way faster through a lot of that. Be like, this guy's a shithead. Oh, next page where some stuff's happening. But what got me was that, and I think I explained this previously. I was like, when we are shown, is it Shizuku? Yeah, when we're shown Shizuku initially, he's just not really doing anything of anything, and then there's a shot of him, like where it's like where the woman he ends up making friends with, who's like a developing sommelier. She's having trouble because of the wine that she served, and he's like, wait, hang on a second. And he comes over and he takes the bottle and with the towel around it, and he picks it up and he decants it from a great height, like from that much of a height. He basically takes the bottle and pours it from this height, making this very like thin red string of wine being poured into a glass or a decanter, whatever the hell it was, doesn't really matter. And in the manga, which isn't moving, which isn't doing anything at all to try to impress you with it. There's no sound, there's no color. It's just a 2-page spread, I think, or even just a 1-page picture of him doing it. You are astounded. Just the way that it's shown, the flashes, like the fucking like screen tone and everything around there, like everything about what they're showing you, you're like, holy shit. Like, you know immediately what he is doing, an incredible show-off maneuver by doing this. This is an impossible thing to be doing, and he's doing it. And he's not even doing it because he's showing off. Because when you come back to him, he's not actually looks like, aren't I hot shit? He's just kind of like, okay, and we do that, and there we go. Now try your wine. It's better, right? Sick. I'm out of here. And then he leaves. Right? Like, it's that kind of attitude, right? I'm just doing this so effortlessly. They had every opportunity in the show to really represent it in that way, and they did not give it the moment it needed, as far as I was concerned. Not that they moved through it too fast. They didn't highlight it in a way that made you feel like what he was doing was this astounding thing. Music cues could have been better, maybe. I don't know. Maybe visual cues could have been better or something. But that was a show-stopping moment, and that should have been like, you should have seen him doing it, and then there just should have been a thing of like dead fucking silence, just hearing the water pour, and just have everybody kind of look at it gobsmacked, being like, oh my God, and then have him stop doing it and hand it over, and to just be like, you can't do that. Like, that's what that guy just did is impossible. Like, that's a magic trick, but he did it. And because of that being like a first episode thing or a second episode thing or whenever it was, I think it was the first episode he did it in, I was just like, oh, you understand the assignment, but you phoned in the work. Kind of what it felt like. I don't know if it got any better. It's still going. I hope you're enjoying it if you are. I think the manga was better at showing that off to me. And I was like, wow, maybe I was ruined by the manga perhaps. But anyway, moving on. Kami no botan yoeru sugata wa yuri no hana. Or Kami no botan, the drunken form is a lily flower. Does that make sense? I don't really understand what that means. How about the English translated title for the anime, Kami no botan fully blossoms when drunk? That makes a lot more sense. Could never understand the drunken form is a lily flower. I was like, I get the Yuri reference, but what are we talking about here? Like, whatever. I find the manga impossible to follow. I've only watched about half of this so far. It's not the kind of thing that's been drawing me back into it, but I will say this, it's way easier to follow the anime because everybody's hair is a different color. It's way easier to understand what's going on in this regard, and it's easier to understand character motivations, I think, than when I was reading it on my phone. It just really felt like there was something about, maybe it's because I'm reading the manga too fast, or that I'm missing something, or trying to understand what the maybe I read it, too early. I needed to have read more stuff to figure it out. I think it's interesting. I also start to understand other people's motivations. There's also just a great GIF. If anyone finds it and can show it, there's a great GIF. I believe it's of these two characters, where this one is waving goodbye to her friends, and this one is yelling at her. I think it's from this show. I haven't actually seen the episode it happens in, I think, at this point. But this one, this girl is yelling at her girlfriend about some stuff and is giving her some shit like bark, 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 bark. And as she turns to walk away, because she's not really listening to her girlfriend, as she turns to walk away, like all happy and whatever, her girlfriend, this one, who's shorter than her, just basically gets all shark teeth all of a sudden and bites her on the arm, and then just dangles from her arm as she walks away, just with her teeth just dug into her arm, and it's very very funny to see. I've been seeing that GIF a lot because I hang out on Dynasty scans, so I'm gonna see that in the shit posting thing from time to time. If you find that GIF, do post it. I would love to see that showed off to people anyway. I think the show is reasonably charming, and I also think that things that it does well is that I feel like initially there's a couple episodes, especially early, it was like, oh, I think they ran out of money, or I think and Heather said they probably ran out of time. She didn't watch this with me. She watched the first episode and decided she didn't want to watch anymore, but she's like, it might not be money, it might be time. I'm like, oh, that makes sense too. But they did pick the episode where they ran out of time, like in my mind, to be the one where it's the thunderstorm, so everything's dark out. So you have less light naturally, so you're going to do it with less color, and you're going to have everything be a little bit. It's going to feel like it's more pencil drawing than it is more like and everything's inked, but it's like it feels like it's very pencil drawing. And I was like, I feel like they ran out of time to make this happen, but the more I watched the episode, I was like, this is actually very interesting, and it's kind of charming in its own way. I can't compare that to like His and Her Circumstances, which apparently did run out of money, and they did have a problem where they were trying to like, we don't have enough money left, and everything's going to be done with like alternate animations and pencil and everything. I mean, that's always been the rumor anyways. They ran out of money, so they had to do it that way. And I didn't get to the end of His and Her Circumstances, so I can't comment on whether I thought it was charming or not. But I will say that I thought it was charming that by the fourth episode or whatever, they did this thing, and I really felt like yeah, that's a good GIF. It's in chat now. The GIF is in chat if you want to go look at it. It shows up on Imgur. But anyway, I really liked the feeling of that it's like, we're going to take a chance and do something different. I will probably finish this, but I am kind of like, I'm dripping it out because it's not sucking me in, because I know it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. It just feels like it's stuff that's happening. And yeah, different thing, I guess, with a romance slice of life versus like comedy slice of life, is that comedy always feels like it's got like a lot of like, it's got a lot of forward motion, whereas with a romance, it's like there's not a lot of forward motion in that, because we're trying to, romances sometimes take time, right? So, and we have a lot of interplay with different characters and stuff too. So anyway, let's move on. Kanan-sama Akumama de Choroi. I did not watch this. Kill Ao, didn't watch that. Kiryu Fan Club. Okay, so I haven't finished this. I think I like this, but I've been, like a lot of things that Heather got out of and that I continue to try to watch, I have run into trying to understand, trying to like continue being interested in the thing. I think this is a complicated show. I think it's a very complicated show. There is an episode early on that I think kind of captures the feeling of what I really like about the show when it does it properly. Like the joke that it did was like the most proper I've seen it execute. The thing that really appeals to me specifically, not that I think the show stands for, but the thing that really appealed to me is that Aimi, who's the black-haired one, the real obsessive, she wants to write a love song for Kiryu, and it's like, and then if we send him the love song, then he'll know that we love him, and then that'll be and then Nami, who's the one who is the orange-haired one next to her, who is less so. But she's also like, she's into Kiryu and everything, but she likes also hanging out with Aimi and stuff. It's very interesting to see their relationship, and it's interesting to see how other people react to their friendship. Aimi's like, we'll write this love song. It'll be so great. And it'll have all these great things. I need like a really great, and you play piano, Nami. So I need you to to play me some piano music that like we can build a great ballad around, right? Like build this great love song around. And Nami sits down. She's like, I don't really play piano that much. She's like, no, it'll be fine. Like we'll figure it out. And I know that you have it in you to come up with the answer for this, and you'll be able to do this properly. And so Aimi starts reciting some lyrics, or it's something like just kind of the start of what she had in mind, and then Nami starts going ding 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 ding, and she gets this great look on her face, this like closes her eyes, really happy, really whimsical, and extremely whimsical music, completely inappropriate for a love song, and they let her play it way too long, and then like Aimi, I think, like smacks her on the head or some shit like that, and the pivot from that to pivot from Aimi being all serious and like, oh my god, like, oh, the pain within me that I have to express all my love and joy and whatever else, and from Aimi being like dun, 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 dun. I was like, oh fuck. That's what I really like about this show, is the completely unexpected pivot from like the thing you expect to be the case to what's actually going on. And they end up writing the love song, and it's awful, and it's extremely cringe. And maybe that's part of the problem too, is that it really does feel like you're watching people get extremely cringe about stuff. But yeah, that moment I loved, and it's the moment I want to show everybody, to be like, this is when the show is really kicking, is when it does stuff like this. I hope that there's more of that as the show goes on. It turns out that Kiryu used to be a very happy boy. He is not a happy boy anymore. There's reasons for that. And I think it's interesting. I think it's also interesting when they start pulling in more characters, so you start to see how everybody else is relating to all these different people. And, but yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I like it. It's not the best thing this season, but I liked it. And I'm like, I'm going to have to watch more of it, but like Botan, it's going to be one of these things that like, I'm going to have to watch a little bit here and a little bit there still. I think I'm going to hold it for a little bit while longer. Komekami Girls, did not watch that. Koori no Joheki. Speaking of the best things in this season, I gotta hand it to whoever the mangaka is who does You and I Are Polar Opposites and also The Ramparts of Ice. The Ramparts of Ice has been phenomenal. And if we're getting more of it, and God help us, I hope we're getting more of it. I guess we just got the 14th episode, and I thought that meant we were going to get like up to 26. It doesn't look like we are, according to this. I don't know if that's true or not, but it looks like it's not continuing next season. Polar Opposites is continuing the second season next season. I don't think it's this season. Maybe it is this season. Whatever it is, these are so fucking good. And Rampart Fall 2026, awesome. Okay, so they're kind of going back and forth. This is so top notch. Like, you're going to be like, oh, it's more kids in high school having their angsty shit. And I'm like, I've never seen it done this artfully. Like, it's got such a deft hand. Like, it's hard for me to explain how excited I am about this show. For watching Polar Opposites, especially, to be like, that's just straight out comedy. Two people like each other, they start dating, and this is how all their friends are all kind of built into the group. And here's how everybody kind of does their stuff. And you get that sense of, we're kids, we don't really know what it is that we're doing, but we're doing all the kid stuff, and kind of like the high school things you remember from high school when you had friends in high school that you hung out with, but also the things you remember from when you weren't hanging out with your friends in high school. And then also mixing in a bit of, this is what you see people doing when they say they're in high school and having fun. So you'll see them in like a TV show doing that or whatever. And it's all kind of like, it takes influences from a lot of those different things. It never stops feeling unrealistic. That's Polar Opposites. Never stops feeling unrealistic. This is extremely relatable. Even if you've never been in these situations, it feels like that feels exactly how I would act, or that I understand why so-and-so would act this way, or I understand why these people are having a hard time with this. And the four of these characters all making assumptions about the relationships that the other ones have to each other. So like Miki believes that she's the one in the back here. Miki believes, here we go, that's her there. Miki believes that Koyuki, or Koyun as her nickname is, feels a certain way towards Yota, who's this guy, and also feels a certain way towards Minato. And Minato believes that Koyuki feels a certain way towards Yota and feels and is like, I don't know how she feels towards me, but I can make some assumptions here. And Yota feels that, and then Koyun and you get a chance to spend time with everybody feeling the way that they do and trying to understand what each person is trying to say about the other people in terms of how they relate to each other. It is a love dodecahedron. It really is. And it gets more complicated because of backstories, like the way that all these characters used to be in middle school and how they kind of all know each other previously, and that they're all becoming friends of each other throughout the show. And I'm like, I think you have it, like it really strikes a good difference between a good balance between this is a comedy and it's also dramatic. And the one thing you have to kind of escape with is that every episode is going to end on an emotional cliffhanger. No matter what, they all end on an emotional cliffhanger, and you're going to feel a little awkward about it. But because 14 episodes have come out, feel free to watch them all back to back, like maybe a couple here, a couple there. Travelog points out they made very good use of the intro bars of the end credits, which are like lower piano, dun, 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 and it's it heightens the tension, and then it flies into the end theme. I didn't even talk about opening and ending themes for any of this stuff. This has really good stuff. Kusunoki has a great ending theme. There's several shows this season that have really good whatever. But yeah, Ramparts of Ice has great theme songs as well, I think too. The opening even has a bullshit key change, which is fun when you're like, you listen to the first little bit at the beginning and then you skip to the end of it, and all of a sudden you've gone up and you're like, oh shit, we're in a different part of the song. But yeah, this is fun. This is fantastic. Definitely watch this if you haven't. I believe it's on Netflix, so it means it's available in a lot of different places. I would be my pick of the season, I think. Kujima Utaeba ie Hororo, or Kujima, why sing when you can warble? I'm going to watch the rest of this. Again, it's going to take me a while to get there. It's weird. Kujima is like this 190 centimeter tall bird-like creature, man creature thing that comes to this small Japanese town from Russia, from like the woods of Russia, and then runs into this small boy, and they hang out and they do sometimes some interesting cultural things and whatnot. And I'm like, I have to give it to Doodles that absolutely Kujima has a very annoying voice. You're not wrong about that. It's just so peculiar, and I'm not ready to give up on it. I don't think it's an easy sell for a lot of people. If you watch like the first 2 episodes or whatever, you might be like, I don't think I'm into this, and that's completely fine. Because I don't think I'm completely into it either. I just want to watch a few more episodes. I think I'm on like episode 5 or 6 or something. I'm like, I just want to watch a few more because I don't feel like I've entirely thrown it away. But I will say that if I had to clean stuff off of my server for any reason, I wouldn't feel bad if I had to throw this away. I'd be like, well, okay, it's fine. I watched some of it. I kind of got the point of it. I don't think there's any grand revelations of entertainment are coming out of this show overall. It's been okay, and I wanted it to be more than it was, and my expectations were outpaced. No, my expectations outpaced the show. Anyway, we'll move on. Kuroneko to Majo no Kyoshitsu. This is the one where you have to kiss the cat on the asshole so you can have magical powers. I didn't watch it. Liar Game. This could have been the same thing for all I know. I didn't watch that either. Maho no Shimai Rurutoriri. I didn't watch that. Mairi Mashita Iruma-kun season 4. I have never watched it. I read like the first couple chapters of Iruma-kun and just never got anywhere with it. Mao. I didn't watch this, so this is easy. We're moving past a lot of stuff. Marriage Toxin. I have already said this is a big manga right now. This is a thing a lot of people are interested in right now. I did not watch this. So, haven't read the manga, wasn't interested, didn't watch the anime. I imagine if I want to kind of get a sense of what was going, I mean, at this point, since this exists, but also the the anime exists, the manga exists, probably faster for me just to read like a couple chapters of the manga to see if I like it or not. But it's okay. I didn't watch it. I hope you people enjoyed it. Mata korosareta shimatta no desu ne, Tante sama. I don't know. You got murdered again, Detective Sama. We watched the first two episodes and just kind of went, I don't give a shit about this. I think we just like watched, yeah, a couple and we're like, oh, no, I don't know. There's too much like, in the intro case to any sort of detective show, it's always going to be easy, right? So it's going to be kind of like we do this in one episode or we do this in two episodes. But at least if it's easy, if it's like a simple thing to solve, um, everything kind of feels realistic to the point where you're like, okay, there's a certain set of realism that's kind of like tied into whatever the crime is. It's always going to be murder because there's nothing more fun to solve than a murder. And this was so dumb. There were some dumb decisions made in the. I would watch the first two episodes because I think you kind of clue in immediately on like, well, that was why would the if you were the culprit, why would you do this? And if you're the culprit and you're trying to cover up another crime because that's what they were doing, why would you do this about the crime and why would you do these things and why would you do this? That none of this makes any fucking sense. Why would you do any of this stuff at all if you're trying to do, And so I think it was just like, I don't trust that this is going to be like the kind of fun crime show. It's just, we already got girls in like all sorts of weird outfits and shit anyway. And I'm like, it's not going to be, so I don't really, and we'll move on. And so, yeah, I should probably put on that. I dropped that, in fact. Anyway, Megami Isekai Tensei nani ni naritai desu ka? Ore Yusha no Rokkotsu de. I would prefer that was the title to My Ridiculous Reincarnation because it doesn't. The rib thing only lasts for like the one episode or for like the half the episode or whatever. And I haven't watched any more past the third episode. And I was talking to Heather about it, and I think the reason why is I like the fact that they tried all the different animation things. The main character didn't appeal to me. Even though I know that he's incredibly optimistic and excited, he just didn't like appeal to me. And I think what I didn't like is that it was narration for a large part of it really felt like I am going to just narrate my entire adventure to you. So you're left seeing what's happening, but you're all now hearing me talk about what's happening too. And I think that's why I fell off it. It was why I was like, this isn't like a lot of things. It was like something that Heather wasn't interested in. And it was like, okay, is this going to draw me in or not? And I was like, I mean, I watched all of Isekai Nonbiri got that wrong. Isekai Nonbiri, whatever. I watched all of farming things in the another world. And yeah, I just was like, I didn't like those parts of it. And so I've kind of soft dropped it. I don't think I'm gonna watch more of it. I have a feeling. I haven't brought myself to delete it yet, but I don't know if I'll watch more of it. So, Needy Girl Overdose. I know this is like a big thing that has captured people's attention. And I watched a PV for it and just was like, no, just didn't interest me, and that's why I didn't pick it up. So I didn't watch it. Nigashita sakana wa ookikatta ga tsuriagata sakana ga ookitsugita ken. Or always a catch. We're just going to call it that. This was a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun. Heather and I really enjoyed watching this. It's gonna have some setup stuff that feels kind of stupid, but and I would have enjoyed it a little bit more if she did a little more ass kicking. But the bits that she did get to do that was ass kicking was fun. I just wish that we got to see her do it more than see the aftermath of it. This was fun because like she shows up. She's all this makes sense, right? Born to whatever, no options left. She doesn't get to be the heir because her parents end up having a boy child, and it's like, oh well, you were like the youngest girl, and so we were going to make you the heir, and so we trained you in all the martial arts and all the other things you'd have to do to become a duke. But now we've had a boy, so he's going to be the one who becomes the duke. So now you have to marry somebody. So go to the other kingdom and find someone great. And she ends up, when she shows up, she's friends with I forget her name there, but this girl is betrothed to this prince, but she's actually in love with the younger prince, who's actually in love with her. And then the whole thing at the very start gets set up as there's a girl on this guy's arm and is saying, no, she's been very terrible to me. You know, you should go break up with her or cancel your engagement. He's like, well, I guess I should. And he walks up to Mimi instead of walking up to Airi, I think is her. I can't remember her name. He walks up to Mimi and takes her hand and says, I'm canceling our engagement, which basically goes a long way to show that he really has no idea who he's engaged to. He saw the two blondes together and thought it was this one. And you see that up at the end of the first episode. We're like, okay, so it all kind of happens to the way that they even said. This is just basically the entire first episode. At the beginning of the second episode, she basically says, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, I'm not even the girl that she basically reads them the riot act in front of everybody at this party. She's so there. Like, she's fucking killing it. Gives this guy so much gas. And everyone else is like, oh shit. And then everybody gets pulled aside. His retainer apologizes to her. Like, all these people end up apologizing to her. And then he's like, oh my God. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I'm so sorry. And she's like, well, you know, like, that's really embarrassing for me too, because I'm supposed to get married to somebody, and there's no way we're gonna, you know, it's like, it touches off a whole great thing. That ends up with these two, you know, getting together, which I think is actually super cute as well. And it was fun. And yeah, she just kind of like bonks from place to place. Like, I'm going to go do this, and kind of stumble into a thing, and I'm going to go fuck around with this. And she's just kind of like really cool and charming, I think. Yeah, it has a really good balance, and it was a lot of fun for one of these, like, oh, I'm going to, you know, I can't find someone to get married to. It's like, it's pretty obvious you're going to get married to him. Like, from about that second episode, you know, that's happening. I liked it, and Heather liked it, and the opening theme is fun. The ending theme is more fun because they have a bunch of those like paper puppets that have like where they have the movable joint, and they do all this kind of shit all the time. The ending is really fun. So yeah, we had a good time watching this. If they made more of it, we'd probably watch more of it. I don't think they need to make more of it though. Niwatori Fighter, for a long time has been a very well-known manga, I believe, as well. I was just not interested in it, and so did not watch it. So yeah. Onegai Aipri, didn't watch that. Oshiri Dandi the Young, didn't watch that. It's interesting how they're getting more out of the Oshiri Tante series with just more things now. So great. Otaku ni Yasashi Garu wa Inai. I did not watch this. However, I went and I read all the manga. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so ashamed. Oh, I talked about so much shit about this where I was like, oh, this looks like this is going to suck and it's going to be whatever. And I don't really feel the whatever about this. Blah, you know, like this feels like it's just going to be like, oh, it's more gyaru stuff that, you know, sometimes there's good gyaru stuff, but what's this going to be like? You guys, the manga was actually super charming. it's like 40, 50 chapters out now, right? Or whatever. And I was like, I'll go read this. And because I saw it pop up on my feed. I'm like, what is this actually about? And I read the first chapter. I'm like, okay, well, that's whatever it's going to be. And then I read the second chapter. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, this would just be really like, this would be like really easy to like digest. And then you just keep reading it. You're like, oh, okay, actually, yeah, there's a lot more here. I like all of these three characters. I like what's going on here. I opted to not watch the series, and maybe I should have watched it. But then again, I might not have gotten into it as much. I don't know. And now I kind of feel like I want to watch it to see how they adapted it because I'm really enjoying the manga. So yeah, that shit happens. And hey, maybe I'll go back and read this manga someday and then be like, oh, I totally have to watch the anime of that too. But yeah, it's fine. So I've really enjoyed the manga, and if the series is, or if this is as good as that, then I'll probably enjoy it too. Anyway, it was charming. It was very charming. So, Otonari no tenshi-sama ni itsunumani ka dame ningen ni sarete ken, second season. Didn't watch the first one. Ponkotsu Fukiin to Skato Take ga Futekisetsu na Joshikose no Hanashi. This is just straight dumb. This is like, this is gas up the dumb. Like, this is so stupid. And I like it so much. I've read the whole series. It's got to be at least 100 chapters. It's so dumb, and it's a lot of fun as a result of it too. It's I will also, the one thing that I was like, and if you've read it, if you haven't watched the series for whatever reason, I got to tell you right now, the theme songs are good for this too. I'm so happy that for the rap battle scene, when it matters, they got two actual rappers to come in and do the rap, like to actually. You can tell that it's like, because for one thing, it's not the same voices as the two people actually having the rap battle. So they got two actual rappers to come in and have the rap because it's important to the story that they do it, that it shows off how good these two characters are, and it's so much fun because of that. Yeah, I'm glad I got Heather to watch this with me. I'm glad we got to watch it. I love all the little things. She's like, there's one of the characters I don't like, and I think we all know it's this guy. But everybody was fun and interesting, and it kind of, when you watch it as an anime, it doesn't make sense that these two are supposed to start dating. Kind of doesn't, but you're just like, sometimes that shit happens, right? So I liked it. It was fun. You should watch it too, perhaps. ReZero, 4th season. I didn't watch that. Reincarnation no Kaben, didn't watch that. Replica date koyo suru, or even a replica can fall in love. They should have like bold and underline tags for things to be like, just to really drive home the fact that this is this is a lot. Heather and I decided to turbo through the remaining 2 or 3 episodes last night. And this show was a lot. And did I like it? I won't watch it again. Sometimes you watch a thing that's good and you're like, I think I've gotten everything I want to get out of it. It is dramatic, and it feels like bad things are going to happen at the end of every episode. And then if they don't happen, then that means that's okay, because the bad thing will happen in the beginning of the next episode, because you're just basically going through this thing watching a slow motion train wreck. It is a lot. Hi. So yeah, I think that, was it good? I mean, it definitely kept our interest.
No, this was fun.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I know you do. This is not totally to my taste, is all. I don't. Yeah, it's fine. hard for me to recommend. I can recommend, I guess I could recommend it, and that is like, I didn't hate it. Like, I definitely didn't hate it. Did I like it? I liked it. Did I love it so much that it's like, boy, I really like, it's like, I don't know. When you start to feel too much like you start to identify with the characters, and then it takes you on a bigger emotional roller coaster. And it's like, I sometimes just don't want to be going through a lot of that stuff. So yeah, it was, you don't want to have the bad thing happen. And there's enough things in this show that are like instantaneous bad things. And there's enough things that are like, these are going to be bad things that the characters have to live with for a long time. It's like, I just don't want them to have to live with that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm glad that she liked it, and I'm glad that we watched it together. Um, Moving on. Saikyo no second season. We're not going to bother with that. Okay. Shunka Shuto Daikosha Haru no Mai. Did not watch this. When I saw the PV for it, it looked interesting, but then wasn't really sure if I wanted to watch it or not. And I think I just didn't. We didn't watch it, and I don't think I'm going to go back and pick it up again. Snowball Earth. Two shows back to back that both have to do with Earth being really cold. Anyway, not interested in that. Tadaima ojama saremasu. This had a fun ending. I wished it had translation for the lyrics, but it's SOS. Anyway, it's very cute. The ending, the beginning was good too. The C'est la vie was also good, and it very much made me feel like they somehow went to Tamon's B-side and said, "Hey, Face, can you come do this for us?" Because it was the boy bandiness of it was very solid. This was a slightly complicated show. It was cute, and I don't know, like I felt like we were being told some things and establishing some stuff that I wasn't really sure how it was supposed to come out. I was making some assumptions for how things were really going to end. But it basically is like, it's like, hey, let's introduce people to the idea of a polycule. Because really, like, that's kind of what's being set up here. Nothing ever, hey, guess what? No culmination. Why the fuck would there be one? It's based in a manga. It's probably still running. Was it cute and fun? Kind of. It was kind of interesting and whatnot in a way. I feel like watching every episode. Occasionally, I'd feel like we were retreading some ground, so we didn't really get anywhere sometimes. But it was all right. I don't think I need to go back and watch it again. But yeah, it felt bad for Rinko, being in the situation she was in. But she wasn't in a situation clearly where she felt like she needed to completely stop being in that situation. But anyway, it was fine. Tensei Shitara Slime Dataken, 4th season, moving on. Tsui no Tsurugi no Historia, season 2, moving on. Yomi no Tsugai, didn't watch that. This is season 2 of another thing I didn't watch, Yoa Yoa Sensei. Jesus. Just full on titty grabs. Yozakura-san Shino Daisuken season. Okay, shorts. Didn't watch any shorts. We're going to get through these a little bit faster than normal. Ingoku Danchi. Wow, that's just nude ladies. Wait. A married woman's erotic suspense. Extreme suspense of a married woman by the author of Libido Hunter Takeru. Group of perverted married women wearing the mysterious libido cross costume and otherwise even desire come attack. Protecting cover conflicts of perverted wives, new Jano Yoshida. What the fuck? Whatever. Great. Wow. I don't remember this coming up. Whatever. Yeah. Mamonogurai no Bokensha. No. Marika-chan no Kokando Koarata. Didn't watch that. I think. Did we? Oh, no, we did. We did. You can see her love meter is broken through the floor here because of buffer overruns. Titties in this. And I was like, we were very surprised to discover there was just big ass titties. So it's like, wow, just big ass titties. Okay, well, whatever. And yeah, didn't watch any more of it. Nezumi no Choki, Orikaki Kuzume 2, Season 2, Dakuma, Gohan-chan, Butts. And then we get leftovers. Didn't watch Meitante Precure. Didn't watch Yusha no Kuzu. I don't think we watched any anime movies this season. Let's just scroll through these pretty fast. Here we go. Okay, stuff that is only on Netflix that doesn't count as TV show for whatever reason. Bakido, didn't watch that. Boku no Hero Academia, whatever, didn't manage that. Dandelion. Sorry, I just caught up on chat. King and Commoner points out, apparently they added the titties in Marika for the anime. So the thing that I was like, ooh, big ass titties in the short. The manga was comparatively wholesome. Because, wow, okay. That is going to surprise some people, I guess, when they buy the manga. Dandelion. Boy, certainly seems like the kind of thing that when you look at it, on the face of it, really feels like this must be like a big deal and had must have a lot of money behind it and a lot of promotion and marketing and interest and a lot of people. And I'm like, watched the first episode and was like, this is Gintama. You made Gintama, but everyone's an angel that claims the dead, but it's Gintama. Okay. Watch the second episode. It's more fucking Gintama with add a new character to it, and it's corporate stuff. And fuck this thing. I don't care. And really just don't care. Just do not care so hard about this. It just did not land at all. So yeah, I still have it. I need to not have it. Aha, Dorohedoro season 2. For those who watched Dorohedoro, they're great this season 2 if you enjoyed watching it animated. Ah yes, Ganbare Nakamura-kun, or Go For It Nakamura-kun. This was super cute. This was so sweet. This was lovely. I highly recommend this. We had a great time watching this. Nakamura-kun, just love at first sight with Hirose-kun. And he just wants to find a way to become friends with him, but also he wants to have a romantic relationship with Hirose. That's very much clearly. The opening theme is a banger. It's so good. And the ending themes are all different. They all take place in his bedroom, I think. And they're all like songs from they all feel like they're songs from the 70s and 80s. So again, just a very fun thing to watch. I liked this. And move on. Okay, Girls in Panzer. I should just put it. We did watch this. Yay, watching. Anyway. Hakusho Kizaku 3rd season OVA. I mean, you say that. I did not see these show up on my Plex at all, so I think I have to go looking for them. Can't wait to watch the two of them that I guess it must have come out. Isekai no Sata Shachiku Shidai Omoi o Hasemashita. No, didn't watch that. Jesus. Oh, I see. I was like, wow, that woman's wearing no pants. Oh, they're all wearing no pants. Oh, it's ecchi. Okay. Commemorating the 10th anniversary of tits. Oh, Opantsumi Sete Moraitai returns. Okay, whatever. Jisho Akiyakurejo na Konyakusha no Kansatsu Kiroku. So I've read the manga for this. I've also read the spin-off that at least has been scanlated so far. I should say the sequel. This is the observation diary of my fiance who claims she's a villainess. It's hard. There's a slightly shorter version of this, but there is an English translation of it. This was very cute. I told Heather about it, that it's like, I think you'll like this. She's like, why? I'm like, it's a villainous story, but everything's from the point of view of the prince. So we never see what's going on in her head. We never have an idea of what all the other girls are going through. We only know what he gets to experience as a result of what she's saying. And yes, it is Bertia is reincarnated into her favorite Otome game as the villainess. She's engaged to Cecil, And she's like, okay, well, I better become the best villainess I can because I want to see him have the story where he ends up with a heroine. Um, this is very good. This is a very fun, interesting story. And I'd read it so long ago, around the time I think that I was reading like My Next Life is a Villainess, the Karina Claes, Bacarina, as I think people were calling it for a while. Um, I was waiting for this to get made at some point, and then the fact that it did, I was like, yes. And so we watched it. I was like, yes, it is good. It is actually good. So I had fun watching that. So move on. Rent a Girlfriend, I think is what this is. Kanojo Akari Shimasu. You know, I'd be damned if I saw any of this anywhere. I don't know why I haven't. I guess I got to go looking for this. Because limited theatrical pre-screening. Yeah. Relations are provisional. We updated. So if this is making it to TV at any point, or to any other streaming service, I guess we're waiting for that to come through. I like that it's still made by Headgear. I didn't think that group might still be around, but yeah. Well, that's the thing. Jolly G says, I think this is out there somewhere. Not sure if there are subtitles. And Inkslayer says the first 3 episodes should be out there. And what kills me about this is that I ran into the same problem with, there was a Patlabor thing that came out years ago. It was like Next Generation Patlabor. And it also had no subtitles. And then somebody eventually put up an SRT or something somewhere. And I was just like, why is it like this for Patlabor? This should not, and I think like why isn't Patlabor treated with more fucking respect in the English speaking market? And I don't know why, because I was away on vacation and watched the first Patlabor movie again, this time in Japanese. I was streaming it from it was at my parents' place, and so I had to stream it over whatever. And I was like, oh my God, yes, this movie is so good, and it looks so good when it's in like 1080p. And then like the next night I watched Patlabor 2, the movie. My parents had gone to bed. I put my headphones in and I can watch stuff. And it's just like, I'm watching it on their big TV and I'm having drinks and snacks and I'm just kind of like really chilling. And I'm like, this is a great vacation. I'm watching Patlabor and then watching Patlabor 2. Just let Mamoto Oshii just wash over me. And I'm just like, yeah, Patlabor is such a good series. All the things that are in it are just fun and interesting and nice. And it's like for me anyway, then like, this is totally my shit. If they wanted to remake the whole series and like, you know, pull like a Ranma 1/2 or Urusei Yatsura and just be like, we're gonna remake the whole thing in widescreen with whatever and bring back as many people as possible. I'm like, there's so much good about this show that I think doesn't quite get the mecha, right? And I'm like, you can't do that's fucking doing Patlabor dirty. Like it needs at least a dozen more tags. So it's so just maybe this is just a mecha show off piece. What do I know? Like it's 3 episodes, but I'm just like, it just needs to be more this. Like in Patlabor 2, I didn't realize this at the time because I hadn't seen the whole like TV series, OVAs and everything else and all that kind of stuff. And when you meet Izumi Noah for the first time, and she's just like, wow, there's this, I'm going to pilot that mecha. I'm calling him Alphonse. He's going to be amazing. There's that whole thing that's happening. And Patlabor 2, the movie, which takes place like years later, like 5 or 6 years later, after like the events of the TV series. There's a point in the movie, like the movie opens with Noah in a labor simulator at Shinohara Heavy Industries, and she's still technically a cop, and so is Shinohara, like Azuma. He's still a cop as well, but they're testing out a new labor and new control systems and everything at Shinohara Heavy Industries. And I'm like, oh, she's in a different position now, that she's like, I'm not just like, I drive this mecha, like I pilot Alphonse or whatever. I've pivoted to being the person who stress tests this shit. I'm a test pilot now. Like this is what I am doing, is this kind of work. And there's a point later in the movie where her and Azuma are driving along. It's very clear they're friends. Like, it's so great because I'm like, wasn't this like a love interest thing? Aren't they supposed to end up together? And it's like, if they are, it's completely non-obvious on the face of it if they've actually coupled up. And I'm like, I think they're literally just friends. and have been really good friends for a very long time. They've been colleagues and they trust each other and they've been friends and whatnot. And at a certain point, Azuma like pulls over this van, and Noah just has this moment. And she just says, she's barely been in the movie, and she just says to him, she's like, I think at some point I need to get past being the labor loving girl. And when I realized how much time had passed between the beginning of the series and this movie was made in 1993, but also like the amount of time that passed in universe, which is just I think about the same amount of time or maybe a little bit more time than that. It's like she got into the whole thing and then she's got to this point where she's like, it's like almost that she's saying to the fans, it's like I'm a stereotype. I'm just this one. I'm a one note thing. But also she's saying to, to Azuma that's like, I've kind of just always been this one way, but I feel like it's so limiting that I'm just being this one type of person and I need to get beyond that moment. Like I need to turn into like, I need to grow. I need to crack out of whatever it is and I need to move on. I'm like, and that's all we get of that. Like there isn't much more. There's no more character development for her beyond that. But I'm like, it's such a great moment that really shows in the passage of time and the passage of maturity and stuff. And I'm like, you gave us that. We didn't need that at all. That doesn't move the movie any further forward, but it definitely moves the character forward, which makes it feel a lot more interesting, like a lot rounder, fleshes out the movie a lot more. So I hope that more of these Pat Labor things are more like, let's explore what this world is like. If we're going to introduce you to new characters, let's do that. But yeah, just really keen on seeing what's going to happen. Maid-san wa taberu dake. The Food Diary of Miss Maid. This is fluff. And I'm only halfway through it, and it is the kind of fluff where I don't even know if I'll watch more of it or not. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's like, it is not going to light your world on fire at all. It doesn't even light your world on fire. Like, it doesn't even try to do more about, like, let's make food so beautiful and interesting and fantastic. And, like, some foods are just like, oh, yeah, I could go for a popsicle right now, or I could have an onigiri today kind of deal. Be like, oh, yeah, good onigiri, like that kind of thing. Not all the things are Yakitate Japan, right? It's not like, my mind is blown by the whatever. So it's a little more restrained in that respect, and it's kind of nice. It's just kind of like, see, remember how good food is? It's like, I do remember how good food is. Moving on. Meitante Conan Hanamaru Nanser. So this is the one where Conan and the Pretty Cure, Meitante Pretty Cure, somebody was pointing out that they had crossovers in each other's shows, and so here is part of that. It's a crossover episode between the two, so one of two episodes. Anyway, moving on. Nikke Nichi Nonnon Zensho Kichi. I don't remember this at all. Based on a video game. There's no need to sort here today. No emergency missions. No roaring gunfire at this moment of the outpost. All it means are the Nikke's everyday moments, laughter, and little unexpected happenings. That looks cute, actually, for all like the stockings and titties and bare shoulders and whatever else is going on there. But hey, that. It's a gotcha girl game. Okay. Interesting. Oh yeah, Source video game. There it is. Nippon Sangoku. Dropped this. In fact, dropped it like I started watching the very beginning of it. And I think I just kind of stopped like within about a minute of watching the opening or something. I was just like, I don't want to watch this right now. And I just stopped and then I went, I don't want to watch this at all. Like, I just decided, like, I was like, I don't want to watch this right now. And then just stopped and was like, actually, I don't want to watch it at all. I think it's just everything that was summed up in here. I was like, I think I might want to watch this. And then as I kind of thought about it a little bit longer and kind of looked at like what was being set up, like whatever I saw, I was just like, I don't think I care about whatever this is going to be. So it wasn't the art style. It was just like, I don't know, just didn't. Maybe if the art style was different, it might have pulled me into it more. But yeah, maybe I was also, as Lysander Salamander, you say, is this one of those weird neoconservative fantasies? I'm like, if this is one of these ultra right wing, like nationalistic Japan fantasy things, I could definitely believe it, but I don't know. And so, yeah, whenever you see people in military outfits in like the modern day, it generally means that that's what it is. But it's like, I don't know. It's fine. Petit Cure, Precure Fairy Season 3. Nope. Prism Rondo. This is made by the person who did Hanayori Dango. I just kind of didn't care about what I was reading here. I was like, I don't really care about that. So whatever. ReZero got a break time thing. Saikyo no Shokugyo wa Yusha demo Genja demo Naka Kante shi Kari Rashi desu yo. Didn't watch that. Shonen to Gundam, Boy and Gundam, Kido Senshi Gundam, Goju Shunen, Road to Goju Shu. Goju. Anyway, it is that. Not for me. Tensei Akujo no Kuro Rekishi. No, didn't that. Good. Finally, we got here. Witch Hat Atelier. Tongari Boshi no Atelier. Well, they better make more. I feel it's the kind of thing that can sustain. I think all of us are losing our minds about Witch Hat Atelier. It's so good. Good. It is in production. Awesome. And the anime is fantastic. Like, it is really well done. Magic anime can be one of those things that's also hard to do properly because you want to give off a sense of wonder and interest, and you want the moments of magic to feel interesting in a way. And these guys, like, they had the budget and the time. Like, there are some remarkable, like, visually remarkable moments, and in fact, it feels like every other episode has remarkable moments of magic in them, just visually resplendent things to look at. And best political thriller in anime. And I have to say, yeah, there is a where they left it on this, like, every episode is a cliffhanger, and the cliffhanger they left this one on is like, oh, this is a big deal because everyone has to live with this for a while, with the position that we're in. But I love that this is a magic system that also is, it's pretty easy to understand. People have really started to come to magic as this thing of, like, I think what has actually happened is people have looked at all the computer shit that's been made in our world and decide that, oh, all of that code people write might as well be magic because you're telling a secret world to do things a certain way, and this is how I want it to work. And how is that any different than somebody, writing something in a grimoire and being like, and then I read the words out, and that tells the ether how to make the magic happen, right? And I think it's happened so many times when people have been putting these things together. Magia Lumiere has done that as well. And like, they do a very good job of world building. This is excellent world building, which I think is what's so appealing to people, because you're kind of not dropped in. You're dropped into a world that you don't really get, but it's fine because you're dropped in with Coco, who is supposed to be the conduit by which we learn about this world anyway. So it's okay that we don't know everything right off the bat. It's okay that we feel like we're as much of an outsider as she is, and that we have Kifri to help bring us along for the ride, to help us understand what's going on. And we have these three girls to help us understand the different ways in which young people approach magic as well. And yeah, there is... I love the idea of you draw your spells. I love that is also something that the Owl House ended up doing. I love that I don't know if Dana Terrace took a little inspiration from this, because I think they might have been like, the manga precedes the Owl House by a little bit. But even if they didn't, it makes sense because everyone's kind of doing these things. And yeah, it's... I love it. I think it's fantastic, and there's so much more we could talk about the things of it. I don't need to, because I think it's very good at teaching its lessons, and the manga especially is very good at teaching its lessons too. The only downside of this that I will put with it is the world is extremely deep. Like any world, there's going to be lots of breadth of things, and there's going to be depth to all the little bits of breadth, right? And it's a thing I was taught in marketing class, in fact, is it's like when you're trying to apply when you're trying to apply how you want your marketing to work is you need to concentrate on, do you want to concentrate on breadth? Do you want to concentrate on depth? And if you're going to concentrate on breadth, then you need to understand that you might not be able to go as deep with certain things. And that's in terms of targeting a market or targeting whatever. But this is also true in terms of creating something, right? Is it's like the world itself as it exists is breadth and depth combined. There's just so much that you can, in this three-dimensional world, there's just so many tiny little elements of all the things that help make up a world the way it is. And when you create a fictional world, there's a lot of shorthand for things that we can use to bring you forward in time. Like we don't have to be shown that Coco is an amazing. We don't have to be told that Coco is an amazing tailor, because watching her immediately draw a line, like having the chalk in her hand and drawing the line on the fabric, when you see her do that, you know immediately she's good at what she does. Like the depiction of it and the way that like everything is like shown how amazing it is. They do have to talk through a bit of it to be like, oh, I've learned for many years. My mother taught me for many years and all that kind of stuff. But she's just good at these things. And I was like, yes, this is, it's just obvious that this is how good she is at doing this kind of thing. And hey, isn't it great that the girl who's actually really good at drawing straight lines on a piece of fabric is actually really good at drawing straight lines on pieces of paper and stuff too. Now, can she do the rest of the work is the other question. But we don't have to be led through what tailoring is to understand what it is that she's doing there. But we do have to be told how the magic works in this world. But as we get told more and more about how magic works and how how other people are kind of related to witches and how all these other things are going to go on, it's like you start to feel that everybody knows what a witch is, and everybody understands what the role of a witch is. Everybody in the world, even people who aren't witches, understand all that stuff. And then it becomes clear that that's not the case, is that there are people in the world who understand that witches live apart. And when that becomes clear, that it's like witches are treated as separate people, like they're like, you are not part of our world, you're part of your own world, and we don't really know what you are, and you're very mysterious, and all we really get is that you create interesting magical tools for us to use, and that's kind of the limit of what we know. And maybe you're to be feared because you have all this power, but you've never hurt people, and da-da-da-da-da. And then getting into the implications of magic and all those things is like, oh god, it's so much, and it's kind of great. So yeah, but yeah, like Lamina puts here, distinct different beings. That's how people, like even witches themselves, like Agato actually says at one point that it's like, I'm from a witch family and we're raised to be witches, and everybody who is a witch and is supposed to be a witch, you might be from a house of witches. And it's like, oh, so you can only be a witch if you're a witch. Is that how this works? Right? You can only be a witch if somebody was a witch before you. It's like, no, you don't have to. We try to keep everybody who's not a witch out of the witch world. But the moment that you're going to learn about being a witch and what that means, you have two choices. And one of them is you need to give up everything about your previous life and never tell anybody anything about what's going on, which you rarely get to do, because this is the first outsider they've had in a long time. Or you get your mind wiped and get to forget all the stuff that you know about anything. So yeah, it's fun. I like this a lot, and I kind of feel like we're eating very well for magic anime that wants to take itself a lot more seriously. That isn't just straight up like this isn't just like a very simplistic kind of like magical, the Maho Shoujo type thing. These girls are literally Maho Shoujo, right? But it's like, this isn't Maho Shoujo in the I transform into whatever, I have a magical fuzzy being and you can buy all my merchandise in the store. This is a very different feel. And I like that this and Free Ren are like that. I like that Dungeon Meshi occupies that space as well. I like that a lot of those things, it's like we're showing you more concepts about how you can create a world like this. And I think that's also just the more popular this gets, it's going to lead to more people coming up with interesting ideas to make worlds like this. Transformers Wild King W, didn't watch that. Wanren Shishang, I didn't watch that. And we are at the end of that. I'm going to go pour myself a drink. I'm putting you guys on a quick break, and we will come back and we will continue with summer. Because as I said previously, it's like, well, what was good from previous season? Ramparts of Ice. Just Ramparts of Ice, Witch Hat Atelier. You watch those two things, you're probably going to have a great time for the season. Don't have to recommend a lot more than that. There was other things that I mentioned, but Ramparts of Ice, Witch Hat Atelier. You're good. And you're so good, you're going to enjoy this commercial. I'll be back in a few minutes. And we're back. Got some Tokyo Treat snacks. This month there was also some sort of green drink, some soda drink that I was going to have, and realized that it's good. I realized that was like, I'll make the green drink and I'll have it on the thing, and no, because we don't have any clear glasses, and I'm like, there's no fun in having a green drink on a green screen when you have a completely covered thing to drink out of. The one thing I also didn't mention earlier that I'm very happy about is I bought more of these shirts. So I have 3 shirts that are almost identical, but not. I have a green one and a blue one and a black one that all have the same, I shouldn't say same because it's different motif on all 3 shirts. But I bought 4 shirts from Japan. I used Beej to do it. And I was really I wanted to get something that was understated, but also had like a bit of flair to it. And so I was like, well, I'll pick these up. If you're interested yourself, this is not sponsored. I got these from Mango House, mangohouse.jp. And what helped me buy everything is that the modern translation layers that you can get in a lot of browsers I use Vivaldi at home, and you can just go click translate to English. It's like, okay, and it translates the entire page to English. I'm like, the future is nice. I quite like it. It cost me a bit of money, I was, but I'm very happy with the results. So I decided I would not wear the green one this time because I didn't think I needed to blend into the background that badly. But yeah, the reason I bought a Mango House shirt when we went to Okinawa in April 2025. I can't believe that was like over a year ago now. And I really liked it, but I wasn't going to spend like what they had in stock when I saw what they had like one shirt. The green one that I have is the one that I bought. And I'm like, I kind of want to buy the blue one too, but it's like, I don't buy 2 of like identical shirts that have like a different, that are just different in the color, right? Like actually get something that's different. And so when I went online recently and discovered, oh, they have a lot of different styles that I could get. And there's one shirt that I even emailed them about because I was like, I really want this one shirt. F it, we're doing this now. Sure, why not? Let's do that. Men's open collar shirts. Where is it? Okay, here's everything. 47 different shirts. These are what's known as Katayushi wear. And you're going to know them as Aloha shirts, but this is the Okinawa shirt. Where is it? This one here. This one specifically, I was like, oh, that rules. That looks so good. I like that a lot. They don't have this shirt in my size, which is triple L. 3L they do not have. And I mean, the white one looks nice, not really into it. The red one, not my speed. That black one though, with the green and the black and the blue and the purple and everything all together, was like, that rules. And yeah, they did not have the size that I wanted, and I don't. So I emailed them and said, "Do any of your stores have it?" Because you can ask if they're out, and none of their stores had it in my size either. So I was like, "Well, that saved me some money because otherwise I would have totally bought that." But I did get this one in black, which I think looks very good too. I quite like it. And what else? I looked at this one, but didn't really particularly like any of the colorways with the. I mean, I could have gotten the white one, but I'm so scared of wearing white shirts because I'll get schmutz on them and then they're ruined forever. And for the price, it's like this is the most I've ever spent on clothing in my life, and it's a lot. So they also have this, which I think is super cute. I can't bring myself to buy this, but they have somebody there did an idiomote cat, and they have the warnings for the idiomote cat as well, and you like lots of different things on the design. But it's like I don't like this design on mustard yellow, and the white one seems too busy, and the blue one is it just this was in store when we were there, and I was like, no, I don't think this would look good on me. I wouldn't like wearing it. I would not want to put it on and wear it, and that would be the big drawback for me. So it's like I'm not going to buy that. I thought this was a neat idea with the Minsa weaving band and everything on it, but again, it's too busy of a shirt. I like to wear very simple designs. And I did pick up this one in green, which is very subtle. And then I picked up this one in blue because it has a sunsheen on it. And I really liked that. Oh, I can get this with a sunsheen on it. It looks very cool. Katayushi wear has several specific things about it. It has to be produced in Okinawa. Like it has to be made there, I believe. It has to be made from natural fibers as much as possible, which makes the polyester cotton poly thing 30/70. I'm not really sure how they get away with some of that. Maybe it's because it has more cotton than not. And it has to depict designs of cultural importance to be considered katayushi wear or happiness wear. And yeah, this is the shirt I have on now in blue. And it has a drummer, and it has shisas on it, and it has another traditional thing. I love the background in the blue as well. Shisa Acer border in men's. I did not go I thought about getting the green one because I like to wear green as well, but because I already had a green shirt, I was like, I should probably get the other one instead. And yeah, so they do them in a bunch of different designs. I like the open collar. They have a button collar one that comes all the way up, and they have Mao collars as well. And I was like, nah, that ain't me. so that's what there is. And I think the button-down shirts they have the button-down collar on them. They might have had my other thing in a different style of shirt, but it's like, that's not really what I wanted. So anyway, that's what I did. I went there and I looked for stuff, and it was fun. But I'm not really I don't want to wear like the big overall print aloha kind of really bright designs that often. I have a shirt that is like that I like, but I'm very particular about the colors I want to wear when I do that too. So anyway, summer preview. Got about an hour left before I said I was going to wrap this up. Let's see how this goes. Kimi o aisuru ki wa nai. Toitaji ki koshak-sama ga naze ga dekiai shitekimasu. Elsa, daughter of a fallen aristocrat, receives news. It was a marriage proposal from Julius, a very elite nobleman. Elsa's wondering, why would such a distinguished man marry me? But after the wedding, Julius, who's been kind and gentle up to the point, changed completely. In a cold voice, he tells her, I have no intention of loving you. I guess that's the series. I don't know. I saw all this and was like, I'm sure there's a reason for it. I just didn't really care overall. So it's like, whatever. Fine. New Bang Dream. Bang Dream, Yume Mita. Suddenly thrown together, a group of girls is now debuting as the virtual band Mugendai Mu-Type. Mu-Type. They've got talent, personality, but no clue how to perform as one. Can they survive, let alone make it to the top in this unforgiving music world? I mean, I would assume that if you were like a bunch of disparate people thrown together into a group, that's because you were engineered to do that. But what do I know? Anyway, Bang Dream. I don't watch Bang Dream. There it is. Black Torch. Jiro Azuma is no average high schooler. A descendant of ninjas and trained in the ancient warrior art of the shinobi, Jiro is also able to talk with animals. I think that was the point where I noped out. After a mysterious encounter with an injured cat named Rago, Jiro discovers the feline is actually the legendary Black Star of Doom. Joined by the Bureau of Espionage, they fight off swarms of Mononoke, lying in wait to exploit Rago's powers. Nope, not interested. Bleach, Senen Kessenhen Kashintan. I'm not reading the whole thing. The fourth and final part of Bleach, Senen Kessenhen. Destruction looms at the end of the 1,000-year blood war between the Soul Reapers and Quincy's. Okay. Well, if you've been enjoying Bleach, I guess this is more Bleach. Buchigire Reijo wa Hofuku o chikaimashita. Barosho no chikara de sokoku o tataki tsubushimasu. Elizabeth Leiston, daughter of the influential prime minister, oh yes, I know, is a picture-perfect lady on the path to becoming the future queen of the kingdom of Haldoria. But her life takes a sudden turn for the worse. Not worst, it would just be worse. When her fiancé makes a show of publicly calling off their engagement. No shit. Soon after, he throws her in jail and starts spreading nasty rumors about her. The encouragement Elizabeth receives from her loyal waiting maid, Muriel, and her inner fury are all she needs to reconsider her goals. Why should she continue devoting herself to a country that doesn't respect her when she can trample over it instead? She will get even with those who wronged her and bring down the damn kingdom, even if it's the last thing she does. Luckily, Elizabeth knows damsel in distress and has 7 powerful magical grimoires she won't hesitate to use. Get ready, because this ruthless lady is out for blood. Could be interesting. The idea of taking revenge on the, hey, you, like, the completely believable thing of, you fucked with me and you shouldn't have fucked with me. So therefore, I'm like, okay, I'm here for that. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. So we'll see. Clevites 2. This is the second season of Clevites. Maju no o to itsuari no yusha densho. Futsuka na akujo de wa gozaimasu ka? Sugu choso torikai den. Wow. Oh, right. Right. Okay. As maidens from the 5 clans battle for the crown prince's heart, jealous Keigetsu uses forbidden magic to swap bodies with the beloved Reirin. Switching places not guarantee happiness for Keigetsu, with her new body's ill health leaving her hanging on the verge of death. Meanwhile, Reirin, now wearing the face of a scorned outcast, must answer for Keigetsu's crimes in a dangerous trial. The unlikely pair becomes increasingly entangled with each other's lives, and they will need to work together to survive after discovering the dark conspiracies brewing beneath the palace's genial surface. To confront the deadly threats lurking in the shadows, Reirin must embrace her new identity and defy their expectations of the court's inept villainess. And again, we have the I am just the inept villainess, whatever. The inept villainess is the 2 words you're going to find in the English that are going to refer to this series. I saw the PVs and thought, oh, this could be interesting. And then in reading the breakdown of it, I'm like, oh, okay, they're going to swap places. I'm going to mention it to Heather and see if she's interested, and then we might watch it if she's interested. but I'm not planning on following through with it. Gai Kutsukishi-sama Tadaimais Kai e Orekakichu 2. Oh, I see. Second season. Grand Blue Season 3. You cannot make me call it the other thing. I like that for the entire lineup here, that she's the only one in a bathing, like a full-on bikini. Anyway. Yeah. Third season of Grand Blue. I'm gonna watch it. I think I know what happens in this part of the series. I think we're up to the point where they're starting to take diving further and further away. I think because I forget her name, she wants to go to Palau, and I think this might be the arc where we actually get to go to Palau. So anyway, Grow Up Show Himawari no Circus Dan. The anime story is set in the late 1950s and early 1960s during the height of Japan's economic boom. Am I logged in? I'm logged in. Okay. Grow Up Show Himawari no Circus Dan. The anime story is set in the late 1950s and early 1960s. During the height of Japan's economic boom, when the circus is a major form of entertainment, different circus troupes travel throughout Japan to perform and compete for a chance to participate in the world-renowned festival called Circus Collection. Okay, see, great. Fuck off. Amazing. Doesn't matter. Like, one troupe called the Sunflower Circus, led by its ringmaster Maria, travels around Japan to perform despite struggling with financial difficulties. However, they meet a circus prodigy named Mizuka Tsurumaki. This is the story of a one-of-a-kind circus show of young girls with big dreams. I don't know how you do the circus tournament, the festival of circuses. Like, you just have to have like, there's just a giant flat area of Japan where thousands of circus troops all come together and set up all their tents with all their animals and all their whatever else is, and then they spend a month or two with everyone doing all their acts for the judges, and it's taken increasingly seriously, and everybody has giant Yakitate Japan style reactions to all of the shit that's going on. I'm going to watch some episodes of this. I need to see what they're going to do, like how this all kind of comes together. This is cute girls doing cute things in the 1950s. It is definitely not going to be, I have a very good feeling it's not going to be, and here's all the trouble that a bunch of unmarried women running around Japan get into. Anyway, moving on. Hanaori-san wa tensei shite mo kenka ga shitai. Once the Demon King, now a shut-in NEET, you say Narukami's second life is anything but peaceful! Exclamation point. When Meteor Hanaori, the hero who once defeated him, suddenly returns as a normal high school girl, his world is thrown into chaos. Determined to change, Ryusei re-enters society as a teacher and ends up teaching at her school. The explosive reunion reignites the past and sparks an unexpected love. Okay. Hell mode. Yarikome Zuki no Gamer wa haisette no isekai de muso suru. Second season. Didn't watch the first. Honno no Tokyujo Dodge Danko. The sequel to the legendary dodgeball manga, Honno no Tokyuji Dodge Danpei. Danko, I see. Is it okay? It's not a gender swap. It's a okay. In this modern version of the hot-blooded dodgeball story, Danpei's daughter Danko follows in his footsteps, struggling to build a dodgeball team with the strongest fighting spirit in the modern age of 2025. Can Danko overcome the apathetic attitude of today's world? I'm gonna say full marks for crazy character designs. Absolutely. Like, I lean into it, right? Live your Slayer's life. But I don't think I'm going to be there for that. Ibite konai gibo togishi. Mia is the illegitimate child of a prominent family. When her mother dies and her father's estate agrees to take her in, she's convinced she knows what awaits her in a new home, a life of servitude and misery at the hands of her wicked stepmother and stepsisters. Yet, when she finally meets the women she expects to treat her like dirt, they actually end up being sweet. A hilarious and heartfelt comedy that's sure to put a smile on your face. Okay, I will give that a go. We'll see. No, this is not Kunio-kun stuff, Gorobe. Yeah, this is just because dodgeball would have been a thing, I'm sure, probably in the 1990s. And that's why they made the games, and that's why they also would have made a manga like this, I'm sure, too. But, you know. Anyway. Iwamoto Senpai no Suisen. The year 1910, Iwamoto Kodo is a young boy who has successfully carried out many curious missions under the military's directive. His destinations lead to encounters with the strange weaving tales of history that have yet to be told. And I was like, okay, kind of interesting. I mean, many boys, all pretty, all in military uniforms. 1910, action, supernatural, you say. Okay, well, maybe won't be my jam. I don't think. Kabushiki Gaisha Maji Lumiere, second season. Well, did you enjoy Maji Lumiere? Then you get a second season out of it. I was conflicted because Maji Lumiere was, I think I put the note in, like, we watched all of it, but I also ended up feeling like we were pushing to get through it. Like, Heather and I were pushing ourselves to kind of get through it. And when I asked her about this, she said, I don't want to watch more of it. And I'm like, okay, that's completely fine. I feel the same way. I feel like I don't want to have to push myself to get through it either. I do think that there's still probably, like, there's some interesting aspects to this rattling around in my brain where I'm like, watching more of this could be interesting or whatever. But I also feel like I don't want to push myself to watch it, and I feel like that's what I might end up doing. So I've decided I'm not going to watch it. Kata Inaka no Osan Kensei ni Naru 2. Didn't watch the first, won't watch the second. Kimi ga shinu made koi o shitai. At the mysterious orphanage where Sheena lives, death is nothing new to its residents. Girls who no longer have families of their own, who are raised as weapons of war, taught to kill and take the lives of others without batting an eye. Everyone, that is, except Sheena, who wishes for nothing more than the growing conflict around her to end. This is Gunslinger Girls. On the night of her roommate's death, Sheena meets a strange girl covered in blood who smiles despite the turmoil surrounding them. The next day, the girl appears as a new student in Sheena's class, introduces herself as Mimi. Initially thought to be a school myth, there are now whispers in the orphanage halls that Mimi is their secret weapon, an immortal who cannot die, her, the ultimate weapon. When Mimi is later assigned as Sheena's new roommate, Sheena's world grows even more complicated when she begins living with someone who loves and welcomes death, when all Sheena wants to do is stop it. And Lamina says, this looks like good doomed Yuri. Yeah, not really, not going to be my thing, unfortunately, so we move on. Kimi no koto ga dai daisuki na hyakunin no kanojo, third season. There you go, folks. I did say I would go back and watch the first episode. I did watch the first episode and just bounced off of it. Again, not going to make a valid judgment here. I know a lot of you like it, and that's great. Didn't grab me. Korekaite Shine, or Shine? I'm going to say Shine. Shine. Korekaite Shine is set in Izu Oshima, an island 120 kilometers south of Tokyo, which is funny because I just saw something hit like YouTube the other day that was like, people live here, and it's like in this island. The story centers on Ai Yasumi, a high school girl who loves to read manga and learns about the joy and pain of drawing her own manga. I'm not sure yet on this one. While I like the idea of it, and I also like that they're setting it in a place that's like incredibly isolated. Draw this, then die. It is Shine. Okay. Korekaite Shine. I don't know if it's going to be my thing. This, on the other hand, though, I guess I'm going to have to watch. I mean, I watched all of Arise. I watched all of the new extremely CG Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, it's Yeah. The year is 2029, near future Japan, where the world has become highly information intensive with a vast corporate network covering the planet, electrons and light pulsing through it. But the nation state and ethnic groups still survive. Motoko Kusanagi, the full body cyborg, leads an elite combat unit, including Bato. That seems so fucking cruel. Leads an elite combat unit, including Bato. All my friends are here, and Applejack. Fuck. All right, let's finish this candy. Oh. Now, of course, I'm going to watch this because I think that, like a lot of you, we all kind of feel like after Standalone Complex wrote Production IG a blank check for anything they wanted to do with Ghost in the Shell, we all realized, oh fuck, we shouldn't have written that blank check. And Science Saru, we kind of all like. I like that the promo stuff they're going for is very Masamune Shirow feeling as well, right? It's like we want to recapture the feeling that came from the original art, even if I'm more of a sucker for the Standalone Complex look or even the Mamoto Oshii look. But I'm like, okay, you want to play it like this? I want to see how you want to make this work. And I think then there's probably a larger conversation to be had about a very interesting conversation, I think, too, about the relationship that how the relationship between an original work and an adapted work has changed over the years, from the point of like, well, we have to make it commercially acceptable. It has to look a certain way so that people will actually pick it up because your look of what you're doing is way too outside the norm, or it's not easy to adapt, or like that kind of thing. And whether technology or whether taste and aesthetics have kind of brought us around to a thing of actually we should try to recapture, or not recapture, we should try to capture all of that look from the original creation, because we think it's interesting, and we think we, not as a preservation activity, but as a just as being able to depict it is interesting too. So yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with this. And I think that no matter what happens, we can all be happy that it's not like the rest of our Ghost in the Shell things that we do like are going to go away, or that they're going to, this is going to supplant in our brains all the other stuff that we remember as well. So I'm interested to see what happens. Into it. Let's go. Kaikigumi. Horror comedy manga begins one fateful day when the cowardly unnamed protagonist meets Mechako. Sure. The leader of the Kaikigumi organization, which is in charge of the ghosts and supernatural creatures scaring humans. The protagonist somehow takes part in the revival of the Kaikigumi, after which one bizarre yet not scary phenomenon after another crops up around him. I'm guessing that's our protagonist down there. I think this is interesting. I also think comedy horror can be a lot of fun. But I don't want to. So I'm not going to. Magical shoujo Lyrical Nanoha. You know, Lyrical Virakuru Nanoha exceeds Gunblade's vengeance. 30 years ago, the world was nearly destroyed by the sun's period of unknown invasive alien species. Human and these invasive species continue to vie for living space. While humanity's safety is currently barely secure, the world could be destroyed at any moment. Living in fear of death and destruction, people go about their daily lives trying to avert the rest of danger and disaster. In this world, the United Nations Hazardous Species Investigation Agency exceeds has begun operations to ward off crises and danger caused by invasive species. Holy fuck, it just goes on and on and on. You like lyrical? I can't say lyrical. Lyrical Nanoha? Here is a thing. Lamina tells us this is a separate Nanoha story. All right. Funny, right? This could be a way for me to actually watch Nanoha then, maybe. Who knows? But I'm not going to. Mabius Dust. Now, is it a typo? I don't know. On February 29th, 2000, a group of Mobius meteorites fell down to Earth. These meteorites brought new material called Mobius dust, which dissolves in air and can cause miracles. The day the Möbius meteorites fell was dubbed 2.29, and the economic disparity in Japan increased dramatically after that day. Miracle. A group of people fed up with the wealth equality fought back with acts of terrorism. Miracle. The police established a special group to fight against the terrorists and a school to train the members for that group. Miracle. Nah. Not really in love with the idea of people fed up with wealth inequality fought back. Oh, fuck yeah, with acts of terrorism. Oh, no. Police established a special group to fight the terrorists. Ah, fuck. And a school for trained members of that group. Oh, we're on the side of the cops. Fuck. Well, moving on. Maybe they learned that they're on the wrong side. No, they're all kids. They won't know they're on the wrong side until much later. Mujikaku seijo wa kyo mo muishiki ni chikara wo tare nagasu. I believe this is the overpowered saint doesn't know how to, or the unlucky, unknown, the unworthy saint hates her power, is unsure of her power. Doesn't matter. Lady Carolina, the overlooked daughter of the powerful Duke, has always believed herself to be the black sheep amid her illustrious kin. Her father's a distinguished prime minister, the distinguished prime minister. Her elder, like the one up in the top of the thing we were looking at earlier. Her elder sister, a prodigious mage, is destined to become the nation's next saint. In comparison, Carolina resigns herself to a quiet existence in her shadow, till a sudden and unexpected royal decree alters her destiny, thrusting her into a political marriage with the formidable bloodthirsty prince of the neighboring empire of Malcosius. Determined to prove her worth, Carolina takes a bold step into a world fraught with both political and mortal peril. As her own obligations intertwine with hints of true love and the stirrings of her own latent power, Carolina moves even closer to understanding what it truly means to be exceptional. Okay. I have this on my list. I don't know what's going to happen. Because reading the rest of this, I was like, oh, it's politics. I'm like, I don't know if that's what we want or not. But it's on our list, and we're watched a few of them, I think, anyway. Mushoku Tensei Twa. Isekai Itara Honkidas. Nope. Nigejozu no Wakagimi, second season. Didn't watch the first. Nijuseki Denki Mokuroku Eureka Evrika. Novel takes place in the summer of 1907, the 40th year of the Meiji era. 15-year-old Inako Momokawa lives in the Fushimi area of Kyoto and is the second daughter of a sake brewer. Nothing she does ever comes out right. She receives a scolding from her father every day. Her only relief is the trust she places in her prayer to the gods. One day, while at Fushimi Inari Shrine, she meets a freewheeling young man named Kihachi Sakamoto. He rejects the gods and boasts of the incoming age of electricity. The topic of marriage suddenly comes up in Inako's household. Her father is one-sidedly making all decisions for her, and Inako's about to give up hope. It's then that Kihachi draws out Inako's true feelings of wanting to run away from her family. The only way to stop her marriage is to find an unusual book called the Electricity Catalog. We need to find the fucking One Piece! The book is a prediction book about electricity that Kihachi wrote when he was a child, but his older brother Seiroku took the book and his current whereabouts are unknown. Inako and Kihachi together go in search of the book across Kyoto and Shiga prefectures. Okay. This, everyone in chat is making a better case for this than this just did. All right, let's see here. Doodles the Great says, Sparks of Tomorrow. KyoAni does it again. The first episode introduces to a set of characters and a plot that I am chomping at the bit to get further into. Laminus says, Spark looks good, like it'll be good, just competing in a dense season. Okay. I will keep that in mind. I'll add it to my maybe watching list. Hopefully I will remember to add it to my actual stuff so I can see it, but we'll see. Oni no Hanayome, or Oni Bride. Colored pencil animation Japan. Light novel. A Japanese-style Ayakashi Cinderella story. You're the bride I've been searching for all this time. The Ayakashi and humans coexist in harmony. The Ayakashi, having superior abilities and beautiful appearances, sometimes find their partner among human women, making them their bride. The bride, in exchange for bringing prosperity, receives absolute love from the Ayakashi. Yuzu is constantly compared to her sister, a bride of a demon fox, and resented by her family every day. One day, when Yuzu just couldn't take things anymore, a man appears before her on a bridge. The man is the most beautiful man Yuzu's ever seen, and he's calling her his wife? Just be quiet and let me hold you. The most powerful, cold-hearted Ayakashi is pouring his heart out for Yuzu? No. I mean, this has an audience. Absolutely. I'm not that audience. Oh, yes. Otome Kaiju Caramelize. I didn't think we'd ever end up here. Kuroe Aikaishi just wants a normal high school life, but that's impossible with a rare condition that turns her into a giant kaiju whenever her emotions spike. Things get even worse when she falls for Arata Minami, the most popular boy in class. Now, every blush, heartbeat, and crush could trigger a monster transformation. Can Kuroe survive high school love before it destroys everything around her? So this came out a while ago, and I thought it was a one-shot, and it was amazing. And it's not a one-shot. It got several chapters. I don't know how many overall, but it's so cute. And it's a ridiculous premise. The thing where it says, "Oh, every blush, heartbeat, crush could trigger monster transformation." You have to understand that right off the bat, when she falls in love with this boy, it's pretty much instantaneous that she becomes the giant kaiju. So, yeah, it's so dumb. Please enjoy it. Kaiju Girl Caramelize. It was a blast to read the bits that I got to see of it. So I'm hoping the whole series is going to be lovely. Now, I think that's Caramerise. Caramerise. And I'm like, well, it's caramelized is what I'm seeing there. So, Caramerise. Otomege sekai wa mobni kibishi sekai desu. Ni. Nope. Rewa no Dara-san. Clouds blacken the sky when sheets of rain turn the mountain forest into a treacherous maze. A landslide crushes a razor wire fence and buries a no trespassing sign. Two young siblings wander into a dark world where they do not belong, and a long, horrid shadow rears up to meet them. Anyway, so that's how we met Dara-san. She might look kind of scary, but just wait until you get to know her. Look, I'm a god of misfortune, okay? Aren't you kids going to freak out about my grotesque visage? I have a feeling the Reiwa refers to, like, because this is happening in the Reiwa era, and so these kids don't know how to react because the Reiwa kids don't know how to react to freaky yokai. But anyway, oh, it's fun, is it? Yeah, well, maybe I'll mark that down. Again, comedy horror is always a hard thing for me. I never really know, but anyway, Saijo no Osewa, Takani no hana darake na meimon ko de gakuinichi no ojo sama seikatsu no ryoku kaimu wo kage nagara osewa suru koto ni narimashita. Hinako Konohana is the perfect young lady, graceful, elegant, and flawless, or so everyone thinks. Behind closed doors, she's a total disaster who can't handle basic chores. When ordinary student Itsuki Tomonari becomes her caretaker, he's thrown into 24/7 damage control, maintaining her perfect image. It's awkward, nonstop chaos. It starts softening into something that feels like love. Okay. Saikyo Degarashi Oji no Anyakute Arasoe Muno Enjiru SS rank Oji wa Koi Keishosen o Kage kara shihai suru. Arnold, the 7th Imperial Prince of the Eldrazi Empire, is called the Insipid Prince in all caps among people since his brother is genius and respected by all people. However, he has a secret identity. Silver, also in all caps, one of the only 5 SS rank adventurers in the continent. When his younger brother Leo decides to aim for the throne, Arnold starts running things behind the scenes to support his brother. Unexpectedly, the most beautiful lady becomes his assistant. Secret circle of the strongest prince. So, what a most beautiful lady becomes his assistant. He's running things behind the scenes. He is the only 5'5", whatever. Oh, what a fucking struggle. Oh, terrible struggle. Is it a good thing? Because this makes it sound like derivative bullshit, folks. Tell me about this. I'm seeing the manga is actually pretty good. Okay. Only 5'5". Wait, is that the... So he's shorter than his twin brother? Is that what's being said here? I don't get it. I'm sorry. A lot of cross-country politics. Oh, Well, I'm going to roll on. Sayonara Dada. Once upon a time, a mermaid princess named Nara fell in love with a human prince. To be with him, she used a witch's potion to become human, but the magic came at a cost. If she failed to find true love, she would vanish into sea foam forever. Now, 200 years later, Lara awakens in Lake Biwa with one final chance at life and love. That sounds kind of cute. I did see a PV for this, and I wasn't just Little Mermaid, except it's 200 years later. She's not really a mermaid because she lives in a lake. First ep of Lara is all set up. I think I'm in. Sequel to The Little Mermaid. I see. Yeah, I saw a PV for this and I was like, that's interesting. Again, didn't light my life on fire. Maybe I put that aside. Here we go. Seihantai na Kimi to Boku, second season. You and I are polar opposites. Second season. If it's anything like the first season was, this will be a tour de force. This will be so fun, so enjoyable. The opening and ending to the first cour was fantastic, and I really feel like when you watch a TV show that like an anime that revolves around the like youth characters, they are starting to more and more lean into the, hey, let's show these people with their friends, and let's also have their let's not just have their friends, but let's have everybody kind of doing things that are like common things that you see today that the youth are doing, right? Let's see them filming shit with their phone, making fun TikToks, doing dances, like all that kind of stuff. I don't know if I was this age now. If I was the way that I was back in high school, I'm like, I don't think I'd be doing all that stuff, that stuff now, perhaps. But who knows? Maybe growing up different means that you end up doing different things to goof around with your friends and have fun. Because we used to do goofy shit. So I enjoy this. I am going to enjoy more of it. Sekai Saikyo no Koe Me Kyu Koku no Shinjin Tansakusha. That's a lot of ladies and one boy. After a fatal accident, overworked office worker Arihito Atobe is reborn in the Labyrinth Country as a seeker with a rare rearguard class and all-purpose support role that excels in attack, defense, and healing. Joined by a fierce Demihuman mercenary and his former boss, Arihito dives in deadly dungeons and rises through the ranks. Adventure's strongest support class begins. Great. Sora wa Akai Kawa no Hotori. This was just called something incredible, or it's called Red Arrow. And I was like, what? It has a much longer name. Sora wa Akai Kawa no Hotori. The Akai was going to be the red part, I guess. Yuri, a pretty Japanese girl, is ecstatic after passing her college entrance exam and having her first kiss with her childhood friend turned boyfriend. However, her luck soon changes. She starts to notice the water becomes agitated whenever she goes near it. One night, hands appear out of a puddle on the street, grab her ankle, and drag her into the water, transport to an ancient village in the Middle East. She's then captured by armed troops and taken to the Queen's Palace for human sacrifice. Yeah, Red River, not Red Arrow, Red River. Yeah. This is a damn classic shoujo manga. Yeah, I mean, watch the PV and it's very obvious that they're like, we did not want to walk away from the character design here. This guy's name is Kyle, but spelled in English, not how you think. So yeah, this is now animated. I didn't see any. Heather also, we were like, I don't know about this. So anyway, Kail is how they're spelling Kyle. And I'm like, no, that should be Kyle. That should be Prince Kyle in the Middle East with his blonde hair. Can't make any sense of this. It's fine. Supa no ura de yanisu futari, or smoking with you behind the supermarket. At age 45, office worker Sasaki has had enough of the corporate grind. His only solace is smoking. The friendly smile of supermarket cashier Yamada. When Sasaki can't find Yamada after a particularly trying day, a striking woman invites him to smoke with her. The despondent man thinks he's made a new smoking buddy in the cool, teasing Taima, but Sasaki doesn't realize he already knows her. I'm watching this. Looking forward to seeing more about it. Situare Seijo no Isekai Gohan Tabi Kakure Skill de Camping Car o Shoukan Shimashita. Okay, this is like, I was like, and then I saw this, and I'm like, yeah. Rin Takanashi, a caregiver in her 30s, was unceremoniously discarded as trash despite being summoned as a saint. However, as a lover of the great outdoors and all things camping, she was blessed with a special skill, survival, as well as another unique skill. Who knows what that is? Thus, a riveting tale begins. One of sweat, tears, and insatiable hunger as Rin, together with companions she picked up along the way, leisurely explores this parallel world and savors gourmet cuisine to her heart's content, or so the story should have gone, but it looks like their road is going in an unexpected direction. Thank you, Lysander. I figured this must have been the second skill, is that she gets a camping car, a camper. I would refer this as a motorhome. In fact, I would refer to this as what looks to be a Class C motorhome. So, yeah, that's how I would think about it. It sounds goofy. I'll probably and pretty laid back, so I'll enjoy it. Who knows? Maybe it's not laid back at all. Tai ari deshita. Ojo-sama wa kakuto game nante shinai. Mitsuki Aya has one goal at the Elite Kuromi Girls Academy to become a fine young lady like the school's flawless White Lily Yorue Mio, but her image of Mio shatters when Aya accidentally catches her playing fighting games. Turns out the elegant Mio is actually a hardcore gamer, and she wants to duel Aya. The battle and the friendship begins. This is not the same. This is the like delicate ladies don't play fighting games or something. I can't remember what they're calling it again. There is another girls playing fighting games manga that came out a while ago. I don't think it's this one. I think it's something different. Unless this is that one where it's like, maybe it is. Maybe it was. It might be one that I've already seen on Dynasty Scans. So makes me think of Rock as a Ladies Monastery. Kind of does that for me too. So. Jigokudo says the other one is really good. I don't know about this. So I'm not thinking of High Score Girl, which is fun. And also High Score Girl Dash, which takes place in the future and focuses on the girl who is not part of the romantic duo, is interesting. But yeah, I want to give this a bit of a watch. I want to see what it is. Tefda nga Ome no Victoria. Not sure about this yet. In an age when spies act behind the scenes in every land, Chloe spends her days successfully carrying out even the most difficult missions due to her unparalleled disguise skills and martial arts abilities. After the betrayal of her boss, she suddenly disappears as Chloe plans to redo her life as the ordinary citizen Victoria in the neighboring kingdom of Ashbury, striving for a normal life. However, Victoria's peaceful life is abruptly cut short as she begins to get involved with many people. In this new land, her experiences and abilities from her days as spy come in far more useful than she ever expected. On the other hand, the second prince and others take an interest in Victoria's strength, and the shadows close in on the woman with many faces. I don't know. I mean, action, drama, fantasy, and romance. Okay, I'll give that a maybe watching. I'm not sure yet. Ten Kosaki no Seiso Karen Bishoujo ga Mukashi danshi to omotte issho ni asonde osana najimi datta ken. I met my childhood friend again, and she's become a beautiful and innocent girl. It's been a while, Hayato. Haruki, is it? In the past, I used to play in the mud with my childhood friend in the countryside, and when I saw him again, there was no trace of the bratty young man I thought he was back then, only in front of Hayato. She threw away the coat she was wearing and reacted in the same crass way she did back then. The distance between you and me has not changed. This is I thought you were a boy because you wore shorts and a t-shirt and had a ambiguous name. I don't know. I don't know about that. We'll move on. Tenmaku no Jadu ga. Another Science Saru. And every PV I watched has been gorgeous. I love that we're using a non-traditional art style that's still extremely cute. You're going to see this as a witch in Mongolia. I'm really, really interested in this, mostly because of where this takes place. After losing her mother in her homeland, Sitara's, and I think probably going to say Shitara maybe, but Sitara's despair transforms into determination with the power of knowledge. New possibilities unfold when the family of scholars takes her in, deepening her education. Meanwhile, Genghis Khan's Mongol Empire conquers nation after nation, nearing Sitada's new home. After the fourth prince of the empire takes her captive, a flame of revenge is ignited. And I'm here for that. I want to see how that's going to work. I love that everybody looks like a little kid, but they're not. And then it's going to make it even harder to kind of determine, who's a little kid and who isn't. I'm into this. I definitely I don't know if it's kind of like you're a late 40s male and so you're interested in world history all of a sudden. I'm like, maybe, I don't know. This is maybe not the way to go about learning world history, but I also want Otoyo Megatari, and I'm never going to get it, but I really, really want it. And I feel like the only way we're going to get Otoyo Megatari at this point is someone's going to be like, no, I had this great idea. We're gonna do the series, but in order to make all the art look as dense as possible, like it is in the manga, we're gonna do it all using AI. And then I'll be like, the monkey paw, fuck. So anyway, I should not manifest that shit into the world. But yeah, I really want Otoyo Megatari as well. So Tetsunabe no John Akiyama, a cocky, arrogant teenager, wants to fulfill his grandfather's wish of defeating his arch nemesis Mutsuju Gobancho. When he arrives at the Gobancho restaurant, he meets his granddaughter Kiriko Gobancho. Their rivalry is easily compared to John and Kiriko's grandfathers, for John believes cooking is about competition, and Kiriko believes cooking is about heart. Yes, I'm all for this. Boy, we have some ugly men. I'm not going to watch it. Anyway, moving on. Sanda Sri. Three ordinary schoolboys come into possession of a DVD that supposedly opens a gateway to a parallel universe. When their backs are turned, Pyon Taro's little sister Futaba passes through, gets kidnapped by the aliens that have overrun that version of Earth. Discovering that their cartoonish bodies make them Superman in the hyper-realistic parallel universe, the boys set out to recover Futaba. You know what? If the idea is we're gonna Looney Tunes this shit like hardcore, I'm into that idea. I just don't really want to watch this. I just don't really care, but I like the idea. So we'll wait and see what happens. Someone's gonna come back and be like, no, Beej, watch Thunder 3. It's actually really fun. But we'll move on. Tome na yoru ni kakeru kimi to me ni mienai koi o shita. Another koi o shita here. Okay, you can fall in love. On April night in Tokyo, still too early for fireworks, a university student Kakeru Sono meets a woman named Koharu Fuyutsuki. Fuyutsuki. Maybe? I don't know. She's a beautiful girl who stands out from the crowd, laughs a lot, and exudes a warmth that contrasts sharply with Kakeru's introversion. But there was something Kakeru didn't know at first. She can't see. Unlike Kakeru, Koharu doesn't give up on anything, even with her blindness. Fuck. She attends university daily, shows interest in clubs, makes friends, and dreams of launching fireworks one day. Kakeru wonders why when she can't see them. But maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe he can start moving forward too, for the girl who's always been by his side. I'm going to watch this, I think. I'm not qualified to say what I'm not qualified to say what qualifies as disability porn, but just the way this is written. So there was a Brownie Points has mentioned Silent Voice, which people were like, didn't like that. And that was about a girl who was deaf and got heavily bullied. One of the more recent ones was what was it called again? And something attraction. I can't remember what it was again. The boy was deaf. He was very hot. He was sign of affection. He was blisteringly hot, and he was deaf, and he was very forward, and all those kind of things, and it was very cute, and I really liked it. And I'm like, is that what makes that sell better? Is because he's a very assertive man? No, I thought he was the deaf one, wasn't he? Am I misremembering this? The girl was deaf. Why am I misremembering? Oh, because he was learning sign language. Thank you. I was like, that's why I was misremembering the whole thing. Yeah. Okay, thank you for that. Yeah. Is it because he was so assertive that it was like that's what actually made it more interesting for me to watch? Because he was like, no, I like you and I'm going to spend time with you. I'm going to learn things. I'm going to do stuff and I'm going to be with you because you're interesting to me and I want to know more about you and I find you attractive and like all that kind of stuff. Whereas what I'm looking at here is like, I'm so morose and I don't like things and I don't know anything and I don't want to do anything and I don't want to do all this other stuff. And then this, blind girl shows up and he's like, wow, my life has been changed by this manic pixie blind girl. I don't know. What are we going for here? Like, what are we trying to spell out? Maybe this will be good. I'm interested to see if it'll be good or not. So, just reading some of the lines, though, I'm just kind of like, oh, like she hasn't given up on anything, despite the fact that she's crippled horribly by her blindness. It's like, boy, this synopsis is not very good at getting this idea across. We'll move on. Tsuiho Sareta Tensei Jukishi wa Game Chishiki de Muso Suru. Oh, Muso game. Okay, nice. Born to a prestigious family of master swordsmen, Elmias's Edvound's future shatters when he awakens the so-called defective Heavy Knight class. Disowned and cast out, he regains memories of another life, and he realizes this world mirrors a VR game he once mastered. Armed with knowledge no one else possesses, he sets out to rewrite his fate and prove the strength of the weakest class. Oh, it's Gohan's! All right, Uchi no ototo domo ga sumimasen, or please excuse my 4 younger brothers. The manga centers on high school student Ito Hazui. During her spring break at the end of her first year of high school, Ito's mother remarries and Ito moves to live with her new family, becoming Ito Narita. Upon arriving in her new house, Ito is shocked to learn that she now has 4 younger stepbrothers. Ito tries her hardest to get along with all the new members of her family, but the eldest brother Gen is a bit cold to her. They're probably only about like a few months apart. Shit, maybe he's a week younger, whatever. However, under his aloof facade, he occasionally shows his kindness. I marked this down as a maybe watch thing. We'll see how this goes. I don't know. Yani Neko, or Chainsmoker Cat. Yani is a cat girl with a seriously bad smoking habit. She smokes so much that her apartment smells like ash and is littered with cigarette butts and plenty of other trash. Every time she tries to quit, she becomes weak to the cravings and gives in almost instantly. Will she ever get her life together? Is she doomed to live as a chain-smoking slob forever? Now, it's funny because that's kind of like, I guess, the larger picture. There was like a shot of the PV where someone is shooting up drugs, it looked like. And I was like, I hope, is this like type 1 diabetes that you're taking insulin or some shit, or you have something else? I was just like, oh my God. Because I'm like, man, is one of you addicted to hard drugs or some shit? I don't know. But yeah, it's I'm gonna watch the first episode because I just want to know what it's about, and I have no idea if I'm gonna like it or not, but I just want to know what the larger, how are you, if I have to watch the first episode, because I don't think the PVs really grabbed me, but I'm just like, but if the first episode grabs me, then we'll know. We'll go from there. Moving on. Yoroi Shinden Samurai Troopers Part 2. All right. Yojo Senki 2. All right. Aware Meisaku-kun. Azure Lane Bisoku Zenshin Ni. Second season of that. Bungo Stray Dogs 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Chikyu Daisuki Kikun. Anime centers on Kikun, extraterrestrial life forms came from discipline to invade Earth. I'm not going to watch this. It's obviously, we like Japan. We like Earth because we like Japan. We all do. We all like Japan. Thank God for Japan. Otherwise, the Earth would be doomed. Hokuto no Ken Kenno Gun Zakutachi no Banka 2. No. Migawari Reijo Skutta no Reikoku Mujihina Koryo no Oji no Ai deshita. As the illegitimate daughter of a countess maid, Katrina was born in miserable circumstances, and now that she's lost her mother, treatment for her stepson, her stepsister, the countess, has only grown worse. One day her stepsister receives a roller to move to the northern outskirts to her unseemly behavior at a recent party. There she is still in proper conduct under the tutelage of the resident prince, rumored to be a cruel man, not wanting to subject her daughter to such punishment. The countess decides to send Katrina instead. Katrina arrives in the north, shaking in fear, but contrary to the stories, the merciless and cold-hearted prince is kinder than she believed. Might the pure-hearted Katrina find love in the winter countryside? In a short? Maybe? I guess. Pan no Akachan, or Bread's Baby, Babies of Bread, whatever. Planosaurus Gachi Kosebutsubu. No. Snack Kazuma. No. Moving on. Tomika and Tom, Season 2. Ushido no Shomen Kamui-san. This exorcism is Shizuka is a self-proclaimed ordinary high school girl who only sees using ghosts. Wait, no, who only sees ghosts. Using her unique ability to track spirits, she works as assistant to famous psychic Kamui. Oh, I see. That's the thing back up there. Though Kamui boasts overwhelming spiritual power, his exorcism methods are unprecedented. Will Shizuka, tossed about by supernatural disturbances, ever find peace? The curtain rises on Supreme Exorcism. Fug Almighty. Yeah. So this is a mini anime that comes with this mini anime. Read the first 3 of each of the manga. It is a bit much. Thank you, Korobe. Oh, Yami Shibai 17. Ooh, creepy, weird, horror shit. Don't. Candy Carries is still ongoing. So, Tooth Decay. Kami Shizuku still going. Mighty Mashita Makun still going. And Mao still going. And Orikaki Kozame Season 2 still going. ReZero still going. Yomi no Tsugai is still going. For how long? For 24 episodes. Okay, movies. You know what? We're going to fly through the movies. Chikawa's getting a movie, Ningyo no Shima no Himitsu. All right. Crayon Shinchan, Kiki Kai Kai, Ora no Yokai Vacation. They're going to Akita for a fireworks festival. Kimi to Hanabi to Yakusoku Yo centers on 2 Tokyo high schools connected over painting of fireworks. Trace the painting to Nago Fireworks Festival in Niigata. 3 major fireworks festivals. Mysterious promise connected to the past. Maho Shoujo Madoka Magica. Well, they haven't figured out how to end Madoka Magica yet, and so they thought they'd try some more. And here it is. There's more of whatever the fuck is going on here. I have completely noped out of this entire series because I just feel completely not confident that it actually wants to have an ending or that they want to do any such shit. So, whatever. Majo no Tani no Yoru short film, only screened at Cinema Ryan and Ghibli Park, so we can't watch it anyway. Shibo Yugi de Meshi Oku, 44 Cloudy Beach. That lady has got some serious abs. Theatrical follow-up to Shibo Yugi de Meshi Woku, story of a certain insane world, player named Yuki, occupation professional, deadly games, overcoming the jinxes of the 30-game wall, blah, 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 blah. The game is Cloudy Beach, Beyond the Wall, etc., something or other. There you go. Shiranuhi. Story set in the coastal town of Kumamoto, the tail end of summer 1996. 10-year-old boy Minato lives a precarious life with his drunkard father. He has no social strength as Ben-chan, a goddess in the form of a young girl that appeared at Benten Island. The time he spends with her are the only times where he feels like himself. I feel more like myself. But when he is about to be separated from Ben-chan to be sent to children's home, Minato prays to Shiranuhi, a mysterious light floating from above the sea, to grant him one wish. His wish, filled with hatred towards his father, eventually becomes a curse. All right. Sorike Anpanman, Pantan to Yakusoku no Hoshi. Okay, Pantan's a red panda, find a treasure, rainbow star. Pantan Ampaman to Pantamanampan. Ribbon Hero, Princess Sapphire, the Lost Kingdom. It's not even a sentence. Stripped of everything in her homeland, Silverland, by the calamity known as Nurgle. She arrives in Goldland to the very depths of despair. While carrying the weight of her past, she begins to find glimmer of hope through the kindness of people. Yet, as a mock here in people's daily life, calamity Nurgle appears once more. Despair, no more loss and things, and time get sword and fight and do a thing, tie the ribbon, let's go do some fuck up some shit. Unanswered // butterfly, Sword Art Online. Ah, there you go. It has a movie. things. Okay, why do I know Chujin? One summer in the third grade, choir boy named Tsubasa meets Kyotaro, a boy everyone in the class looked up to, and the two become close friends. Within their small world, they share irreplaceable moments until a small incident suddenly tears them apart. Spanning more than 30 years, this gentle contemplative story invites the audience to reflect on the meaning of life through the paths their lives take. Okay, there we go. And now we get into the shit that usually shows up on Netflix. Banyanya at Home Party, not going to bother that. Boku no Hero Academia, I Am a Hero 2. It's a short anime adapting this bonus chapter. Cyborg 009, 009. Nemesis. Yes, new anime based on Cyborg 009. Okay. Hana Zakari no Kimitachie, second season. Well, we watched Hanakimi first season. I believe we were watching the second one as well. We'll see how that goes. I am not that interested, but I will also, if Heather wants to watch it, I will watch more of it. And if she just doesn't want to watch more of it, if I don't want to watch more of it, I'll see if she just wants to watch it on her own. Who knows? Heroin, Seijo, Ie, all works made des ko. I will become the world's most wonderful maid. With her skirt fluttering in black and white, the girl shouted. Her name is Melody, a reincarnated former Japanese girl. She now pursues her dream in her new life, working as an all-purpose maid for a poor count's family in the kingdom of Deolas. When she makes it, even cheap tea turns into a luxury brew, and dilapidated mansions quickly restored to new. Cleaning, serving, hunting, DIY, leave it all to her and her powerful magic. I was hoping that would just be her ability, that she's just good at stuff, but whatever. Unbeknownst to Melody, this world is actually an ultimate game. She's the most powerful and invincible heroine, the Saint heroine. Yet she remains oblivious to this fact. Romance with a handsome man, attacked by a demon lord. Work comes first. Fantasy misunderstood work, then unknowingly shatters destiny. I'm not sure about this. Comedy fantasy could be fun. Girls, the ultimate game heroine completely broke the plot. Who knows? Now, see, here we are. File 2. Where's my file 1? God damn it. But yeah, looking forward to seeing this. Pat Labor, easy. Koko wa ore ni makasete saki ni ke toite kara junen ga tattara densetsu ni natte ita. Luck, an S-rank mage in the hero's party, makes the last stand against the Demon King to save his companions. When he finally returns victorious, 10 years have passed, and the world praises him as a legendary hero who died in battle. Unable to reclaim his former life, Luck conceals his identity and begins again as Luck, an F-rank adventurer forging a future in a world that moved on without him. All right. Let's roll, Cinema Roll. 2. Level 999, no Murabito. Level 99, level 999 Traveler. I know Murabito. Muribito is Traveler? Murabito is Villager then. Okay. In the Earth Clear, everyone is born into a fixed role, and Villagers are the weakest of all. Most never rise above level 5, except Koji Kagami, who's level 999. On a monster hunt, he meets Alice, the Demon's King daughter, and discovers they share an impossible dream, coexistence between humans and demons. In a world destined for conflict, they charge into battle to defy fate and shatter the rules. So, okay. What? Nikoto Ryu. Cat and Dragon. The story follows a fire-breathing, human-hating dragon raised by Mother Cat in a forest. The dragon, known affectionately as Uncle Wing, watches over the many of the curious cats, such as one that goes on an adventure with a human prince, another that lives in the city and people watch as a hobby, and gradually warms the humans along the way. So it sounds like it's a bit of an anthology-type series, because the dragons live forever. Yeah, I'm going to watch it. We'll see what happens. One Piece Heroines. Based on novel series One Piece novel Heroines. One chapter, episode Nami's getting an anime adaptation. After buying a pair of shoes that end up hurting her feet, Nami returns to the shop feeling dissatisfied. There she meets Lebno, the designer who tells her, I'll make you a brand new pair from scratch, but only if you'll be my model. Shoes are crap. No, you just give her new fucking shoes. Shoes are crafted by the artisan Mucha, leading to an unexpected and stylish encounter. All right. Perfect Addiction. I believe... Let's see. Akihito is a college student obsessed with looks and sex, but he can't stand the handsome yet aloof Sai. Things come to a head when Akihito is shot down in a singles mixer by a girl who set her romantic sights on Sae. Furious, he follows Sai to the hotel district where he learns Sai's secret. He's gay and a bottom. Sai confesses he's been having trouble feeling pleasure from sex. Breaking through Sai's mental barriers is exactly the lovemaking challenge Akihito needed. Waking something in them both. Will they ever be able to control themselves again? They just need to fuck. This is just waiting to fuck. All right. Oh, it's trying to fuck. That's the Patton Oswalt thing. Yes. Pai no mi. Oshi no mori e yokoso. Lotte snack brand Pai no mi animated series released on the channel. Rakudai Kensha no Gakuin Muso. Nidome no Tensei S rank cheat Majutsushi Boken Roku. Eftal is reincarnated as a human coming from modern Earth. In his new world where magic is real, he decides to devote the entire of his life to the pursuit of magic. Despite his efforts, though, he discovers that he's absolutely talentless as magic and breathes his last in anguish, but isn't the end for him just yet. He reincarnates once again, bearing the same name, Eftal, 400 years later. Having retained his knowledge and power, he steals his resolve. No, that's with two E's. And once again sets his sight for the peaks of magic. Okay. Ryomin Zeronin Stato no Henkyo Yoshusama. I'm reading the manga. I gotta watch it. Reading the manga. Diaz finally returns home after decades of war. He's hailed as a hero and promptly rewarded with his own domain, which turns to be little more than empty plains. Population 0. Diaz, who's only ever known battle, finds himself at a loss. How's he supposed to survive, let alone cultivate his territory into a thriving, prosperous domain where there's nothing but grass as far as can see? Fortunately for Diaz, a horned girl by the name of Alna is about to show him there's more to the plains than meets the eye. Fucking terrible summation. Okay. Diaz, great hero. He's gifted a domain. He moves there and finds out it's nothing but grasslands, but near enough to a forest where the Oni live, the Oni that live on this land. And he's like, oh shit, what do we do? And here's how I remember this, because the two of them end up married. Is that he saves her from a something, and then that means that he should look after her for what, it doesn't really matter if they marry for some reason. She saves him from a thing. It doesn't really fucking matter. She's like, oh, I can help you understand how living off this land works, and we'll start by like building shelter, and we'll start by doing some things, and then we'll find sheep, and we'll find some other people want to live here too, and they come out, and everyone loves. Thing is, everybody loves Diaz because he's a great hero, and so in a way, there's a lot of people are interested to know more about the land that the great hero has settled on, and so some people will start to kind of trickle in over time, and I like it because I like how slow it wants to treat the building of this nation. It's not really even gonna, or this domain, right? It's a little place, and some people end up migrating there because they're like, we want to live here. And yeah, it is very, it's very chill, as Jigokuro says. Sometimes with a cool fight or evil noble gets comeuppance. It's kind of cute. And yeah, and yes, as Brainbosh says, also the main character is just a good person. Good person, underlined, like, capital G, capital P, good person. It's nice. There's nothing objectionable about it. I just really liked reading the manga. I wish they would continue to translate it. I have no idea what fell off there. I've liked it, and it is fun to watch like the ropes that you pull to kind of like what things need to happen to kind of support the development of a place like this. And it gives off vibes of Isekai Nonbiri Noka, the cult farming a village and starting in another world with thousands of ladies who are lost in the forest. It gives off a bit of that, but it doesn't want to basically stuff you full of that. It's basically the mangaka feels like he's like, I'm going to let this guy settle some land, and I'm going to give him a wife right away that knows about the land, and then we'll see what happens after that. I like it. Feels pretty good. Star Wars, I almost said Star Wars Violence. Star Wars Visions, Kyuninme no Jedi, the Ninth Jedi. It is another thing that they're doing with this. A new series, Lockhart continues to train the way of Jedi into Margrave Jiro amid an epic journey to self-discovery. I wish I gave a tenth of one shit about Star Wars anymore, but there we are. World is Dancing. Ian has said, hey, I'm watching. He's like, are you watching this? I'm like, I have not yet. He's like, okay, well, you have to make a decision. I'm like, well, we'll see. Born into a life of acting and dance with traveling theater troupe in 14th century Japan, 12-year-old Oniyasha has one problem. He doesn't know what the point of any of it is. Why must I step with the left foot here instead of the right? Why is one performance good and another bad? Why do people dance at all? It all seems perfectly arbitrary until a chance encounter in Rundown Shack sets him on a path to revolutionizing the art form and influencing much of Japanese culture to come. The fictionalized account of the early life of Zeami Motokyo Oniyasha, founder of modern no theater, the world's oldest surviving theater art. This coming-of-age artist's journey vividly brings to life a man far ahead of his time during one of Japan's most culturally and socially vibrant eras. I don't know about this overall, because I don't know if I'm that interested. I like it's like, oh, learn about how no theater was founded in a fictionalized account. And I'm like, it's the trouble with the fictionalized accounts is whenever I see those, I always end up feeling like, how broad are the strokes that I should be believing in versus the details that don't really matter. Like Heike Monogatari is one of those things where I'm like, there's enough of what happened in Heike Monogatari that felt really believable about this is what was going on at the time, the life that these people were living, and kind of the pressure that they were under, this very powerful family, the pressure that they were under, versus the Genji, and I'm like, okay, well, this is very reminiscent of its time. Obviously, the thing about the Biwa player who could who was very important to them, I'm like, I don't think any of that matters. And so this is one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be important or not. Like, if this is like one of those, like, this will really give you a good idea of how no theater was formed or not. Maybe I'm not feeling like I want to watch much cultural anime this season, but yeah, I'm going to mark it as a maybe, and we'll see how I feel about it. And maybe it's that I don't want to watch much heavy cultural anime this season, that I'm into it or not, but we'll see. Ian's going to watch it. He'll probably tell me he will probably give me an impression fairly fast about whether it's good or not. And then I will know if I want to watch more of it or not. But yeah, that puts this at the end of what we have been doing. Let's roll back and review some stuff. Again, I'm looking forward to Ryomin Zeronin Stato. Cat and Dragon are interesting as well. I'm just salivating over more Pat Labor, and so I just really need to find that first file so I can see how good it is. Roll past all the leftovers. No, these are the movies and the leftovers. And I did say I dropped this, so we're going to say that we are not watching that. And the titty anime that I'm not watching. These are the shorts here, right? Yeah. And then we get into these. So Chainsmoker Cat was kind of whatever, and the Younger Brothers, and then there's the blind girl thing. Ah, yes, Jadugar, Tenmaku no Jadugar. Highlight, looking forward to that. Looking forward to, want to watch the camping car thing because I think it'll be fun. You and I are polar opposites, season 2. Otome Kaiju Caramelize. And what else we got in here? Kokaku Kidotai, The Ghost in the Shell. Silent Sato's Ghost in the Shell. Hype for that, definitely. Grand Blue Season 3. We'll see how that goes for me. And I think that brings us to the end of everything that we're kind of like looking forward to this season. That's it, folks. Yeah, some fun, good stuff that is waiting for us. And I hope you have found stuff that you want to enjoy as well. And that's kind of it. Thank you for joining me for the anime roundup and the preview of what's coming up in the summer. I hope you found some stuff that you want to watch as well. We did fly this time, so I could try to finish as close to 3 hours as possible because I kept just talking and talking and talking. But yeah, that is all. As always, you can back the things that we do here, patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Back the Twitch as well. Watch it because I streamed this, and you can subscribe and do bits, but also back us on YouTube if you're into that. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can sign up and become a member there if you prefer to do that. Or if you want to give us money through the store, store.loadingreadyrun.com, your source for all sorts of merch, including a bunch of shirts that are evergreen, but some shirts that are going back in the vault by September or in September. So there'll be new shirts then that you can draw from. Like if you're interested, in keep an eye out on the vault. And we're going to try to keep things kind of moving on the store, so your interesting things will always happen. And yeah, that's all. We're done here. Thank you so much for watching me do my thing. I will see you, I guess, later, but also we'll see you on this in another 3 months.